happy Tuesday. You are listening to the afternoon show. I am Atiba Buchanan.
And I am LaDonna Ray. And make sure if you're watching us on Facebook Live that you share the show. And feel free to comment however you like.
However often you like.
That's right.
There's those comments are free 99.
Free 99. And actually, you can comment on any topic. Okay. So you don't have to follow us. You can say, you know what? I didn't get it out. And you can put it right there in the comments.
Absolutely. How are you today?
I'm doing swell-tastic. How about yourself?
It's kind of it's a smoker out there.
I know. I love it though. You know what I did when I got home? A long time ago when I was 25 years old and I bought my first house. I used to cut my grass and I loved it. And it was funny because when I cut my grass, then my neighbors would cut theirs and their husbands would anyway. Because I guess I made them look bad because they hadn't cut their grass yet. Well, over the years, my boys got older and they were cutting the grass. And then my second set of boys would cut the grass. And so with that being said, yesterday, I noticed that my children, well, not yesterday, but my sons, they have a lawn care service. They cut everybody else's grass and it looks great, except mine. Mine is always half done. It's always, they missed a spot. They didn't go on the side of the house. They didn't go in this area. They missed a row of grass. So I said, you know what? I'm tired of fussing about it. I'm going to cut it myself. And as tired as I was last night when I got home, I went out there, changed clothes, went out there, cut the grass. My son was like, give me the alarm. Nope. You had your chance. You had 2 years.
How long did it take you to realize you weren't 25 anymore?
Almost right away because I have what is it called? A motorized when it's automatic? Atiba, what is it called when you have the motor and it pulls it?
It's a power
assist. Okay. Yeah. So I have one of those, but I wasn't using it at first because I was thinking I'm going to build these arms up. I'm going to get my Tina Turner back. And yeah, not even halfway through, about 25% through, I was pushing that other lever to make it pull. But it looks nice. And I woke up and I was very proud of what I saw, but it was hot out. But I love the heat. That's how I know I'm from where I'm from. And when I was in it, I was, get a little bit of water, but I love the heat. I crave it.
All right.
I trim I have to be careful how I say this. I trim the bushes as well.
Nice. You did some work.
I did, but my arms got tired.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, I didn't realize it had been so long. Yeah, my arms got tired. They didn't used to get tired.
Yeah, I got a guy for that.
I do too, but I got like 3 of them.
Yeah.
2 boys and a man. So it should be done. But I wanted it to look the way I wanted it to look because the boys had taken that job over and they hadn't done it right.
All right. Lots going on in the news. Right? We've been, the Supreme Court has been active. They have sessions, right? So right now they're trying to get all their decisions out before they get out of session, which is kind of a fancy way of saying they're going on vacation. But they came back with 2 decisions today. I think they came back with more. But the 2 that really resonated with people, the ones that we were all waiting for,
drum roll,
with bated breath, was the decision concerning whether or not states could ban transgender athletes, specifically male transgender athletes, from participating in women's sports. Because it very rarely happens the other way around. And even when women do want to participate in men's sports, they just do so as women, right? We've seen the young girls wrestling and they wrestle boys and that kind of, and then the boys are real embarrassed because they get them beat by a girl.
But that's technique.
Yeah.
That's not always strength in wrestling.
No, not at all. And so then, so they, every state, they kind of threw it back to the states. So in Illinois, I think it's still legal, or the state can decide. I mean, that's basically the decision that the states can decide. And there are probably 30 states at least that are poised to ban it. So more than half the country is poised to ban it. Here's what's funny. I'm gonna give you my thoughts on that real quick. I agree with the decision. Everybody knows I am unabashedly.
Which decision? That the states make the decision, or that it should be banned?
Well, the states can make the decision to ban it.
Okay, so you're in favor of that?
Yes.
Okay.
And as liberal as I am, I've never been comfortable with the idea of a man competing with women, because I've seen it where, the guy competes with women and takes first place in everything.
Yeah.
How do you stand on the podium and be proud? You know what I'm saying? Like you just beat a bunch of women.
Look, my thing is this. If you're going to be a woman, be it all the time, not when it's convenient. Okay. So when you're playing sports, you are not a woman. You are a man because your molecular structure did not change. You still have the same muscles, the same stamina, the same makeup of a man. And that is an advantage. And it's a disadvantage to the women on that team and the opposing team.
Yeah, I have less of a problem with it outside of the sports. You can be, you can dress however you want to
Right.
dress.
I don't care about
I don't
that.
care about any of that.
Right.
But I will say, I do now. What I do think has happened is that Democrats have gotten a bad rap on that. Over the past couple of election cycles, Republicans have tried to posture this issue as if it were the main thing Democrats were running on, and that just wasn't true. But that being said, I do support the decision. I can't. I'd have to look up the makeup of the votes, and we can look that up during the break. But again, that is one decision. You'll have to wait around, unfortunately, to hear the other decision. Don't go anywhere.
Because we're going to be on time for our
'Cause-
breaks today.
Sure. But there was another decision even more monumental than that
Yeah.
one, and we'll discuss that. Ronald, we see you holding, and we appreciate the call. 773-591-1690. We would love to hear your thoughts on the Supreme Court's decision on the states' rights
Mhm.
on transgender sports banning. Would love to hear from you. 773-591-1690. We'll be right back.
More from Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
It's Rufus Williams. The thrill of summer is finally here, which also means it'll be over before we know it. This fall, the Rufus Williams Travel Club is heading to Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Join me as we experience the beauty, the brilliance, and the culture of one of America's most captivating cities. We'll enjoy the charm of the Lowcountry, breathtaking scenery, incredible cuisine, and the rich African-American history of Charleston. There will also be a few special surprises designed just for our group. So whether you're traveling alone, with family, or with friends, you'll be welcomed into an unforgettable experience filled with great people and great memories. Space is limited, and the best rates are right now. Simply go to WVON.com, click on the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner, and reserve your space. Advantage International is the official travel partner of the Rufus Williams Travel Club. Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Travel with people, travel with purpose, travel with us.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because no two people sleep the same. Only the Sleep Number smart bed lets you each choose your individual firmness and comfort, your Sleep Number setting. The Climate 360 smart bed is so smart, it actively cools or warms up to 13 degrees on either side for your ideal sleep temperature. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now save 40% on the Sleep Number Special Edition smart bed for a limited time. For JD Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the Black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's knows you need durable power tool accessories that are built to last. The new DuAlt Elite Series delivers the strength and reliability pros need and is available exclusively at Lowe's. Shop in-store or online today.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Happy Tuesday, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. Dan Ryan, downtown on 95th, stop and go traffic 30 minutes. I-57, Ryan Tie 80, slow go 16 minutes. Bishop Ford, Ryan Tie 80, 94, stop and go traffic 22 minutes. Stevenson, DuSable Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State. Please be cautious. There is a disabled vehicle on the exit ramp, causing the right lane to be blocked. Stevenson, off ramp to Dan Ryan Expressway, 48 minutes. Eisenhower, Wolf Toe Post Office, stop and go traffic 39 minutes. Kennedy, downtown to O'Hare, stop and go traffic 37 minutes. And Eden's Montrose Lake Cook, smooth sailing, 15 minutes. The weather for today, Chicago. Heat index, humid and hot, of 103 to 108, high of 97 and a low of 77. Tomorrow, hot, humid, again, and a heat index of 100 to 106, high of 98 and a low of 80. It's currently 93 degrees and cloudy. That's your traffic and weather update now. I'm Logan Page on the Talk Chicago, WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Tell you nothing's better when there's no need to look. Oh, you know who's there. Smile the world over when I think of the past, how we passed all the tests.
Well. Welcome back. Ain't nothing like coming in on some Donny Hathaway. He is our highlight for today during Black Music Month. Guys, you're listening to WVON 1690, 63 years and counting, the afternoon show with Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray. We've got some phone calls on the line, and we were talking about the Supreme Court justice rulings today. There were quite a few of them. One of them we were talking about with the transgender playing in sports, women's sports particularly, and how the states can decide to ban those or not. And of course, there's been others, but we want to go ahead and grab these callers because maybe you're talking about that topic.
Hey,
Hello,
Ronald.
Ron. You're on
Hello.
WVON.
Yeah, I'm talking about the U.S. citizenship. Now, my thing is, if Trump tries to go through with that, what does that mean? He will have to be deported. His kids would have to be deported. His wife, the kids that his first wife had, and his last wife, when they had to be deported, because none of them is really U.S. citizen. They was born over here, his kids. So that means when they have to leave, if he's talking about everybody who was born over here or either on U.S. soil will have to leave. So when that means his children would have to leave.
Now, you know, they would find some kind of carve out
loophole
for his family.
Yeah.
You're right, Brother Ronald. You are absolutely right.
And that can happen
But,
for the first 6 presidents, I believe,
Right.
of the United States.
But yeah,
know,
you're right. But they would never do it. You know that.
I know they would never do it, but that's what needs to be thrown up in his face. You wasn't born over here. Your father came over here as an immigrant, and you benefit from it. And basically, you should be leaving.
Yeah, definitely. He has several kids that would be on the chopping block. So, but you got ahead of us a little bit. We haven't talked about that one yet, but we appreciate your insight because we're going to get into that in just a moment. But let's take Pianki first. Hey, Brother Pianki.
They all was naturalized, and they came upon the jurisdiction, the complete jurisdiction of the United States. What you seen today was some judicial activism. The 14th Amendment is perfectly clear. You know, Atiba, if you was in Venezuela and something went down, you would have to look for the U.S. Embassy. You couldn't go to the Venezuela embassy because you're under the jurisdiction of the United States. Someone from Venezuela comes here and they're illegal and they have a baby, they still have to go to the Venezuelan embassy because they're under the jurisdiction of Venezuela.
Well, the
And
question
child
is the
takes on
baby is the baby a
the
citizen?
child takes on. I'm getting ready to answer that. The child takes on the status of the parent. Now, here's the problem that we got. You cannot deport a United States citizen. So, if the parent is found to be illegal and they have to be deported, what are you going to do with the child? You can't deport the child. The child is a U.S. citizen.
And the Supreme Court and they affirmed that today.
Now, hang on real quick. The Supreme Court do not make laws. You only got two entities in the United States that makes laws, your state legislature and Congress. Supreme Court only gives opinions between two or more arguing parties.
Yes, they help to interpret the law.
They don't, well, they interpret the law to see if it's constitutional.
There you
The
go.
14th Amendment doesn't change. There's only one way to change the Constitution. That's by Article 5.
Right. But they could have interpreted the law, but they interpret it as such that it stands, that the way
In
that
this
it's written,
case, they
it stands.
interpreted. In this case, they interpreted Donald Trump's executive order
Mm-hmm.
and came back and said it had to be done by the Article 5 method. Now, the Congress can do it by Article 5, and any entity in civilian life can do it by Article 5. That is, get 2/3 of the states to agree with the proposal.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got to get 3/4 of the states to ratify.
Exactly.
That's the only way you can change the Constitution.
And neither one of those are happening right now.
Absolutely.
So yes,
Well, it has happened before. You have had at least 5 different court decisions on this issue.
yeah, it's happened before, but I'm saying it's not in the works for anyone to change it as we speak. It's not going through the
Well,
halls of
you don't-
Congress.
Well, really, I don't like to get into arguments, and I try to be calm as possible. But
Well, I'm
that's
not arguing
okay.
with you. I thought we were having a debate,
I know
a
you're not.
discussion.
I know you're not. But what I'm saying is that the 14th Amendment is perfectly clear on what goes down. If LaDonna goes to Ghana, you have to seek out the U.S. Embassy. You can't go in the Ghana Embassy and say, I got problems. They're going to look at you and say, you got to go down the street.
Okay, it sounds like it sounds respectfully like you're conflating two different things. You're comparing people who are coming here for asylum versus whether or not a child being born on U.S. soil is a citizen, and those are two different things.
A child that's born by parents, you take on the status of your parent.
Okay, let me just bring this back
Then why do
into
they call them
context.
anchor babies?
Can I go back into context here? The U.S. Supreme Court issued a major ruling today, June 30th, rejecting President Donald Trump's executive order that sought to end automatic birthright citizenship for many
That's
children
it right
born
there,
in the
LaDonna.
United States. So that's what
Read
we're
that one more time. Read that one more time. They rejected his executive order.
Yes,
they
right.
cannot reject the 14th Amendment.
No, they weren't trying to do that. I didn't think they were trying to do
Well,
that.
a lot of people
It's
think
not on
they
the
did.
table.
Yeah, a lot of
He wrote an executive order saying that if you were born in the United States and your parents didn't have the right status, that you were not a U.S. citizen, and that got
and what he said is really true. It's really true because there's a process by the 14th Amendment how you become a U.S. citizen.
right.
You
The
have
parents.
relinquish
Okay,
the
question.
parent, but you got 3 boys, right?
I have 4.
You got 4 boys. Don't those 4 boys come under your jurisdiction?
No,
They
they
take
come
on
under
your
they're
status.
under the jurisdiction of the United States because they were born here and they are citizens of the United States.
Okay, suppose you came from Honduras.
If what you were saying is right, Pianki,
Hang
there
on.
would
Answer
never
that
be a
question,
need.
LaDonna.
Well, when
They-
they're born here, they're issued
Hold on,
a
hold
birth
on.
certificate.
Hold on a second.
I mean, that's the birth certificate says that they are a U.S. citizen at
If-
birth.
If what Pianki's saying is correct, then there would never be a need. If Donald Trump was, quote, right, then he would have never needed to write the executive order.
All right. So the 14th Amendment of the United States is one of the most, I don't need to read all that. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the state wherein they reside. That's
It's really
it.
simple.
It's right. There's nothing that can be misconstrued from that. We're over the break. We're going to go to break. Bianchi, hold on. Tommy, we see you, but we'll be right back. We're going to take news, traffic, and weather. We're going to be on time, and we'll be right back.
Hope you're having a terrific Tuesday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here's happening in your local and national news. A $10,000 reward is being offered for information leading to an arrest in the shooting that killed a CTA worker on Chicago's South Side. Police say Thomas Barlow was gunned down early yesterday morning during a carjacking. The 57-year-old was a switch operator. Barlow was outside of a rail maintenance facility in 98th Street when the shooting happened. Meanwhile, CTA union officials continue their call for stronger protections for transit workers. No one is in custody. In other news, injuries continue to pile up for the Cubs. Utility player Matt Shaw was placed on the 10-day injury list yesterday with a sprained left hand. He was on a hot streak before the injury when he had a .395 on-base percentage in 14 games in June. Shaw was filing in for Seiya Suzuki in right field. The Cubs also put right-handed reliever Ethan Roberts on the 15-day injured list with inflammation in his right forearm. That makes 6 injured list placements in 6 days. In other news, the Medicare pilot plan will now cover the most prescribed GLP-1s. The Medicare GLP-1 Bridge program launches July 1st, and participants must meet certain criteria like height and weight and have comorbidities. Copay is $50 per month for a 30-day supply. The program runs through next year.
Right, the way we mold them right. Make you a celebrity overnight. Girl, I see you in the map bottom jeans, chinchilla on your back. I wanna know your name. Girl, don't just stop to blow your brains.
In Chicago, rapper Twista is facing up to 5 years in prison after pleading guilty to owing over $440,000 in taxes. According to Fox 32 Chicago, the artist pleaded guilty to 5 misdemeanor counts of willfully failing to pay income taxes on June 23rd. Federal prosecutors claim that he failed to pay taxes between 2019 and 2023. I'm Logan Page, and that's happening in your news now on WVON 1690 AM.
If you spend hours looking at screens, remember the 20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds. It's a simple way to reduce digital eye strain and keep your eyes comfortable. This healthy reminder is sponsored in part by Dr. Ansel T. Johnson and Vision Salon Eye Care Associates.
Some voices don't just sing, they make you feel something. Few artists did that better than Donny Hathaway. Raised in Chicago, Hathaway combined gospel, soul, jazz, and classical music into a sound that was both powerful and deeply personal. Whether performing A Song for You, The Ghetto, or his beloved duets with Roberta Flack, his voice carried a depth of emotion that continues to inspire artists today. A gifted singer, pianist, composer, and arranger, Donny Hathaway helped elevate soul music into an art form that was both intimate and timeless. From Chicago to the world, his music remains a masterclass in heart, honesty, and musical excellence. Donny Hathaway gave Chicago its soundtrack, and the world never stopped listening.
Brought to you by AARP, a proud supporter of Black Music Month.
I was having a medical procedure, and I wanted to ensure my kids would get my home should something happen to me. I called attorney Ted London. He provided the land, trust, and power of attorney. Now my kids will not have to go through the probate process.
After the death of my husband, I had to get my affairs in order. I called attorney Ted London. Now my family and home will not have to go through the probate process.
773-721-3333.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Trouble sleeping lately? Upgrade to the great sleep you deserve at Mattress Firm's July 4th sale. Choose from a curated selection of top brands and let their sleep experts help you narrow it down. They make sleep easy.
WVON traffic and weather now.
It's even hotter today, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. Dan Ryan, downtown on 95th. Stop and go traffic, 30 minutes. I-57, Ryan Tie 80, 2-minute delay, 17 minutes. Bishop Ford, Ryan Tie 80, 94, 7-minute delay, 19 minutes. Stevenson, DuSable, Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State. Stop and go traffic, 43 minutes. Eisenhower Wolf to Post Office, stop and go traffic, 42 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare, stop and go traffic, 38 minutes. And Eden's Manchos Cook, slow go, 15 minutes. Your weather for today, Chicago. It's hot, it's humid, and heat index of 103 to 108, high of 97, and a low of 77. Tomorrow, hot and humid. Again, heat index of 101 and 106, high of 98, and a low of 80. It's currently 93 degrees and cloudy. That's your traffic and weather update on WVON 1690 AM. I'm Logan Page.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
The closer I get to you, the more you make me see. Like giving me all you got. Your love has captured me.
Over and over again, we keep asking you to share the show, guys, if you're on Facebook Live, and we so appreciate it when you do. I tell you what, hit those phone lines, 773-591-1690. Because on the afternoon show, Atiba and I are having this heated discussion.
Are we?
Well, we're not heated, but our caller seems to be when it comes to birthright citizenship and the appeal, or should I say the executive order that was no way. We're not doing this. That is against, as it was stated, the 14th Amendment. And that's it. He can't have his way. Sorry.
Well, Bianchi, we want to give you the last word.
You know, if Vladimir Putin and his wife, pregnant,
he's ready,
was flying from Russia to Brazil, they lay over in Chicago and she go into labor and have a baby. So we're saying that Russian baby can become the president of the United States when he or she reaches 35 years of age.
Yes.
That's what we're saying. No, they cannot, because the parents are still under the jurisdiction of Russia. If you go from here to Nigeria, LaDonna, and you had all four of your sons at one time, they are United States citizens, not Nigerians.
Okay. Thank you so much for the call.
That makes no sense.
First
of all, the baby would have to live here for so many years in order to qualify to be a president. You don't just get born here and you become. There are a few requirements, not many, but that one I do know. You don't just because they'd have to if you unless you give birth and get back on that plane before anybody knew about it, But to give birth, there has to be. There are certain protocol. I'm sorry.
Here is the point.
Yeah, what
the
is the
Supreme Court held up the decision that has been held up for over a century that a baby born on U.S. soil is a U.S. citizen. I don't know why. I don't know what's so hard to understand about that concept, but that's what it is today.
And they are under the jurisdiction of the United States as a citizen.
Tommy, thank you for calling.
Hey, Tommy.
Hey, you guys. See, for me, this is just like yesterday. You asked a question. Should Bible verses be taught in the public atmosphere? The answer is no. And now here we come with this. Explain to me that if you're a con man, if you're a drug dealer, if you get your money illegally, illicitly, however the hell you get it, when you get caught up, according to the law, they confiscate everything that they say or claim as a result of you not being able to provide receipts for it. Is that not correct?
That is correct.
So then why are we going back and forth? If the Constitution says that, then it is what it is. But in reality, let's be crystal clear. Who is it that we're talking about? Is any black person in America happen to prove that they're American citizens? So what are we talking about? People that have been walked across the border, people who came on visas. It's illegal, man. What the hell is wrong with you people? Illegal is illegal. Today, tomorrow, and the rest of the week. So now if we go along with illegality, are you wondering how we got to where we are today? Goodbye.
Hold on. No, please don't hang up.
He's
He hung
already
up.
gone.
I still don't understand his position on whether or not he supports the decision. But that's okay because the phone lines continue to light up. 773-591-1690. And we'll also get to some comments in the chat. But for right now, we have Miss Karen.
Hi, Karen.
Oh, hey. First of all, I want to commend Kianki. I hope I'm pronouncing his words right. I really enjoy when he calls in, very knowledgeable. He speaks truth and facts. And I just want to say this. We better understand what's happening. We are the only ones, the Black, African American, whatever you want to call us. We're the only ones legal to this nation, to this. We're the only ones that came over here properly. And we don't even realize we're fighting against our own demise. Once again, Kianki, please continue to call in and lay the knowledge. Many of us haven't read, we haven't studied. Everything that we're doing is wrong, and we continue to defend things that go against us. I love you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Everybody's so quick to hang up today. It's okay. Yeah, so in the history, that's true. The 14th Amendment was to make sure that African Americans, especially people who were enslaved, that their children would be considered American citizens.
Property. Yes.
Yeah. So that is true. The only thing we're saying today is that the decision is all we're doing is reporting the news. Don't shoot the messenger.
Right.
Like, don't shoot the messenger. The news is Donald Trump tried to override it with an executive order, and he is right, and he was and he was shut down by the Supreme Court, by a very conservative Supreme Court. It's a 6-3. He has a 6-3 majority, and in this ruling, at least 2 of his conservative judges said, nope, just the way that it is the way that it's going to continue to be. That's the news. Correctional officer said, Brother Atiba, you are not alone at all being able to understand the position of, I can't read that word.
You can't see it?
No.
Babbling?
Babbling.
Watch this, Tommy, is like finding a virgin in public housing impossible. Okay, come on now. What are we doing? Why did you choose that comment?
Because I couldn't read it.
Okay. Jeez.
And then Carmelo Anthony is going to enjoy The Closer I Get to You from the Donny Hathaway.
Yeah, that's not nice.
When he gets out of protective custody and is classified for general population. That's tough.
That's not nice. He was, you know what? I don't even want to get into that.
People are missing.
We celebrate. Looks like we get so happy when someone gets in trouble. We're just celebrating.
Just celebrating men getting raped.
Yep. Celebrating it. Hey, let's not forget that Black men were raped during slavery. They never talk about that. When I went to the Obama Center and I saw so many happy African-American, Black, Negro, Black folks, just happy. The people that worked there were happy.
Mm-hmm,
if they weren't, they certainly seemed like it. It was utopic. But and that's what society doesn't like to see. They don't like to see us happy because when we're happy, it's a big happy.
Mm-hmm.
And it just does something to them. But when we are punished, when we are struggling, when we are upset, when we are disheveled, people get happy. They get happy. Like, yeah, that's right. Take that. Why? Yeah, you don't deserve to. They love it. They relish in it.
We are addicted to judging.
Yeah, judging
love it.
And watching people suffer.
We love it. Another great comment. Fred Johnson said, people are missing the point. You just can't change the Constitution with an executive order. So yeah, I appreciate Pianki breaking down how to change an amendment. That's true. it does take, again, the same way we talked about a veto-proof vote, right? It takes a lot to change the Constitution. And it takes a lot more than any single President Trump or anybody else
Right.
can do to change the Constitution. So I frankly, I think he was lucky to get to the Supreme Court. So
And waste all that time.
right. So again, I'll give him this. He tried for his people.
Hmm.
His constituents wanted that. They didn't want to go through the means and the work of having to change it, of getting signatures, of lobbying their congressmen, of lobbying their governors, of lobbying their state reps, and their senators. So they didn't want to do that. They just wanted to lay it at the hands of Donald Trump. But yeah, if you guys want that, you're going to have to do the work. But the good news for you is if that's how your mind works and that's where your ideology lies, there is a path forward for you to do that. You just got to go through it the right way. Take your time. Oh, we got to squeeze in the other Ron. Hey, Ron. Oh, no, hold on, Ron.
Hold
it's
on,
3:47.
Ron.
We
Thank
got you. I don't want to rush you. Sit tight. We're going to take your call as soon as we come back from break.
More from Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Smart conversations with smart people makes us smarter. And that's exactly what you get on Bound and Woven with Rufus Williams. This isn't surface level talk. This is where authors become experts, where books become blueprints, and where ideas are challenged, not just discussed. From Colin Woodard on Nations Apart, to Gloria J. Brown Marshall breaking down the history of protests in America, to Gary Tyler sharing a story of resilience and redemption and stitching freedom. These are not interviews. These are conversations that matter, because every book has a story and every story has a deeper meaning. Bound and Woven with Rufus Williams on Bond TV. You can catch us on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV Plus, the WVON app, and VON.TV. This is Rufus Williams. Stop scrolling for a minute. If you missed my exclusive interview with Governor J.B. Pritzker, you need to really watch it, because this wasn't just another politician making talking points. This was a conversation about the issues that are hitting our community every single day. I pressed him on the violence that's tearing through Chicago. Where are the illegal guns really coming from? Why hasn't it stopped? And what is the state prepared to do about it? We tackled education, the state budget, the cost of living, voting rights, and I looked Governor Pritzker in the eye and asked him to make his case directly to Black Illinoisans as he seeks another 4 years. Don't let social media tell you what he said. Don't let political operatives tell you how to think. Hear the answers for yourself, then decide. That's the WVON difference. We ask the hard questions, we don't duck the tough conversations, and we trust you to make up your own mind. Watch the full interview now on Vine TV or on our YouTube channel. Then tell me where you stand.
This report is brought to you by Aleve. At some point, body pain may creep in and become your reality that day. But Aleve is here to help keep you moving forward. One pill gives you up to 12 hours of body pain relief. So don't let pain hold you back. Try Aleve today. Use as directed.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
War is not the answer. Cause on the other company, you know we gotta find a way to bring some love in here today.
All right. Welcome back. That's right, WVON 1690, the afternoon show with Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray. Let's go ahead and hit these phone lines because we're running out of time on this subject. Let's go to Ron. Hey, Ron. Thanks for calling WVON. You're live.
Hey, you all, Atiba, you look here, man. You hit it right on point. And to tell you the truth, I respect the Constitution, but something that you said. When he came into office, he said two things. I'm going to close the borders, and all these presidents that said we can't deport people, I'm going to do it. He's done it. One of the first things he did come up with an executive order, and I had problems with that. But see, this is the most important thing. He has done what he told his voters he was going to do. He won the popular vote. He won electoral votes. And guess what? Some of us, yeah, we'll disreport, but we respect the see. So when the Democrats, they don't agree with it, they controlled by Trump. We respect. But one thing that he did, he kept his word, and we'll live to fight another day. That's all I can say. But everything that he did, that we voted for him, that's what he has done. We win with you, we're going to lose with you. Thank you.
Thank you for
Ron.
not talking about what we were talking about whatsoever.
It's all right.
No. He wanted to make it clear that we understand that he voted for this man to do everything that he's doing. But I want to know if we're talking about the Supreme Court ruling on states having the control of, that's another topic. I went somewhere else, of the Constitution and being born here and you being a birthright citizen. Where's that conversation? Where's the framing for that? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because does that bother some people? Because does it bother you that someone who has a child here in the United States, if they don't have the jurisdiction of the United States, that they have a child and they become a citizen automatically? Does that bother you, Atiba?
Not in the least.
Yeah.
And I can't think of any practical way that it has detracted or diminished my life.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but one thing I do worry about
mm-hmm.
is if a child is born here under parents that are not legally citizens
mm-hmm.
or legal citizens, what happens if the parents get deported?
Yeah, we saw that in Trump's first administration.
I know, and that's the part where my heart rips apart.
Yeah,
that's where I get concerned. Other than that, it doesn't bother me that you become a citizen, but now you're going to become, I guess at that point, you become a ward of whatever state you're in. If your parents got deported, now those children have to go to an agency. Am I correct? Because they have to be cared by someone.
Yeah, an agency, a different family member that may have legal status.
Yeah. All right.
Don't get me wrong. I appreciate the quandary.
Hmm.
It is definitely not an easy situation to resolve. But that being said, the rule still stays the rule. Let's get back to, and that's all. And frankly, again, that's all we're saying.
That's all we're saying, right?
Today, Mike, thanks for calling.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Fantastic.
I like your show,
Thank you.
I love to talk about things that are important to me, important to my family, important to my community. And, I can dig the music thing and the dating thing and all that. But one thing that I've noticed about Trump, he will say something and people react like it's already fact. And that is scary. When he said he was going to fire all those federal workers if they didn't take the buyout, they already did it. There was no law passed. He didn't have authority to do that. So you got to be careful. Just because he says something, people are already rushing to do it. And if you were one of those people that gave up all your pension, you were a federal worker, and you just jumped the gun and got scared because he said something, that is a pretty scary thing. And then I'm going to finish with this. We cannot allow him to just say stuff and it happens. The Constitution, he's talking about running for a third term. So
exactly.
all these people that are rushing to discard the Constitution, first of all, I wish there was a black Constitution that nobody had the authority over. But we have some very bad actors, and some of them look like us. What I'm finding out here in Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, a lot of these people have fixers behind the scenes.
Gotta leave it there, Mike. We got a bunch of calls, but you raise a great point, because it's not just Trump talking about running for a third term. When I tell you that you can go to any Trump rally and you will see a sea of Trump 2028 hats. They are already wearing them. And I've seen people interview like, hey, he's already served 2 terms. What do you think of him having a third? I think it's fine.
Yeah.
They don't care anything about, they don't care
I mean,
anything
he
about the
will
Constitution.
have a third term. JD Vance. Let's take the next caller.
And I think it is Miss Pam.
Hey,
Miss
Pam.
Hello.
Hi, you're live.
Hi, how are you all doing?
Fantastic.
I'm just going to say, I think what the most important factor here to me is that the court of 9 justices is corrupt, and we know it. But also, is anybody bothered by the fact, and I guess not, but I'm going to ask this question, that you have an adjudicated sexual abuser in the office? Judge Kaplan said he was a rapist. You have someone with credible allegations of raping a minor, and we can't get an investigation because the Republican Party is protecting him as well as other Republicans. Does that matter to anyone?
It matters to a lot of people because we keep talking about it, but at the same time, while he is who he is, he's still making things a reality. You know what I'm saying? Like we can argue the point that he is a felon, that he's been accused of so many crimes, it's not even funny. We can keep bringing up the Epstein files, but he's still writing executive orders. He's still in charge of this war that Congress didn't okay. He's still acting as the president. While all that has been fact, he's still acting as the president.
Well, here's the thing.
I get it. And then I'm just going to say this piece, though. But those who voted for him, are we going to pretend like something isn't wrong with those people? I mean, are we really willing to say that with all that he has done and you still support him, that something isn't wrong with you? Now, what? You figure that out with your psychologist or your therapist.
Yeah, that does.
But Atiba and Adana, I can't pretend like people who support him are normal. I'm just going to be real about that.
I hear you, Ms.
And I'll
Pam.
let it go at that.
Thank you. Let me just address your first point about whether or not people care about some of the allegations against him. Yes, people care. And what's trying to be done right now is winning the midterms.
Right.
That's why President Trump wouldn't sign a housing bill, because he's more concerned about passing the SAVE Act, which is just a huge voter suppression bill, because he understands that Republicans in this election cycle cannot win on the merit of their ideas. They're going to have to do everything they can to gerrymander their way into office, to voter suppress their way into office. And they've said out loud, if Democrats win back the House, and Lord knows the Senate, the investigations are going to be endless. So all I would say to you, Ms. Pam, is make sure you vote in November. Make sure that you vote on time. Don't give them any excuse, and encourage everyone around you that thinks like you to vote as well.
And vote early,
Yeah.
actually. Forget on time.
Miss Janice,
Hi,
thank
Janice.
you for calling.
How you doing? I wanted to say I wish our black leadership would be concerned about our children sitting in those places where they're being sexually abused, like that Aunt Martha's place, as they are about the illegals if they're sent back. You know, a lot of times we look and we see that we are concerned about others more than we are about ourselves. My congressman certainly is, and that's Jonathan Jackson. And I'd also like to say, when I saw all these foreigners working construction downtown and our black men couldn't get jobs, that made me mad. I'm not going to tell any story about it. And it bothers me that they were able to go to schools on the north side when our kids were stuck in those low-performing schools. But it's like a friend of mine who's black told me once, and my cousin just before she died, she said, that wasn't meant for you. It was meant for somebody else. And stop giving your money to these black charities. She meant like Push, the Urban League, and all those. Stop supporting them, because the first thing they should have said is nobody's going to work construction until our black men who have those skills are given jobs.
That's when we find ourselves missing people like Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. Very quickly before we go to break, Miss Jenny.
Hi, Jenny. Jenny, you're live on WVON.
Hello.
Hi, you're live.
Hi. Let me turn off my radio so I can speak to you all.
Now we can hear you. Let's hear it.
Yeah, because I was in my car. Let me say this. Since all of your esteemed listeners love to come on with their opinions, why don't they just Google what the 14th Amendment actually says? And what it says is that anyone that is born here in the United States is a citizen, period. This guy talking about what somebody else does in other countries has nothing to do with the United States. In fact, if he Googled his information and really looked up some constitutional law, that 14th Amendment guaranteed us to have citizenship back in 1868.
Right after the Civil War.
It overruled the 1857 Dred Scott. All I'm going to say is this. I'm in my 70s, and I have never seen, and I never dreamed that I would see such a sad state of affairs among us blacks. Okay? The thing that gets next to me is no one is bringing up, this man has signed more executive.
I'm sorry. We're up on a break. They're cutting us off. Sorry about that, Miss Jenny, but thank you for the call. We got to go to break.
And next time somebody says the word black, say it with pride. You don't have to say black. You know what I'm saying? Say black.
She said she's never seen such a sad state of affairs.
It is sad, but let's uplift that word. All right, here we go. We're going to news, traffic, and weather. And when we come back, it's Caregiver Chronicles with our very esteemed guest, Mr. Eric Nansdale. We'll be right back.
It's the second day of the week, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here are your news headlines. Extreme heat pushes heat index above 100 degrees. Mount Prospect police searching for missing 13-year-old boy. Pilsen Restaurant seeks Publix help after burglary. An Authentic Brands Group acquires Care Bears IP. National news from the Black Information Network is up next on Chicago's only urban talk radio station, 1690 AM, WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.
PIN News Now. An extreme heat warning is in effect until Wednesday at 10 p.m. And with those high temperatures comes the risk of heat-related illnesses.
With heat exhaustion, you're going to see dizziness, increased thirst, heavy sweating. As your body temperature is rising, it can quickly start to escalate to what we think of as heat stroke. And heat stroke is when your body temperature passes 104 degrees.
That's Dr. Jessica Zunga-Reed with Mercy One Children's Hospital. She recommends staying hydrated and avoiding being out in the heat as much as possible. A rodeo bull is getting a new name after complaints were filed with the Reno Rodeo about what some people viewed as a racist name. The bull's owner insists that was never the intent. And a shelter designed to help domestic violence survivors is opening August 1st in Jackson County, North Carolina. The shelter can accommodate dozens of people, including some families. I'm Misty Jordan with BIN News. Now, back to you, Doug. All right. Thanks, and happy Tuesday. Today, I begin my series titled 250 Years On, a Racial Reckoning for America. As the nation nears 250 years all this week, we break down the country's racial legacy from a panel discussion I had with famed civil rights attorneys Areva Martin, Camila Moore, and reparationist Tara Perry, who is also the founder of BlackPact.org. Here's part 2 of my conversation that began last hour. Camila, you've shaped, one of the most detailed reparations frameworks in the country. What are the most concrete, actionable pieces of repair that could actually be implemented right now?
Cash payments as compensation is one form of reparations under international law. The other recommendations also were designed around the other forms of reparations under international law, notably restitution, rehabilitation, guarantees of non-repetition, and satisfaction. What those recommendations look like in California, but could obviously be extrapolated to other states or even nationally. We're talking about business grants, zero interest loans, public contracting preferences, housing grants, student loan debt relief, property reclamation through getting land back from unjust property takings via racially motivated eminent domain. The sky really truly is the limit when it comes to the concrete action items or recommendations or reparations for Black Americans under this lineage framework that the California Reparations Task Force uplifted in a report.
So Tara Perry of BlackPact.org, you're on the ground every day. What are some of the items that people are saying are missing from this report?
The report is very thorough. I was also part of the editing team for AB 3121, which actually seated the commission. A lot of people tend to forget one of the first promises made for reparations was land, right? When people talk about reparations, they often jump straight to programs, but Black people have Black Americans since the chattel slavery, freedom, whatever term you prefer, have always, understood that land is power and land is safety and land is political independence, and it's the foundation of wealth. And that's one of the first things that we have to definitely get back to. Medical repair. There's so much that was done in Black bodies, and we were exploited for labor, experimentations, gynecological research, and forced breeding. There's so much harm that has been done to us, and those neglects still linger today. You can't brutalize the people for centuries and then act shocked when the harm shows up in our bodies. Like, if policy has locked Black people out of access to wealth, access to housing, access to good health care, it has to open the doors back up to repair those people.
And next hour, more from my panel discussion on my series titled 250 Years On, A Racial Reckoning for America. Next hour, what approach to repair is more effective in the court of law, lineage, or status? Stay connected and subscribe and follow BIN News this hour wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Doug Davis for the Black Information Network.
Healthy eating starts with balance. Adding more fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains can help fuel your body and mind. And that's your healthy reminder.
This healthy reminder is sponsored in part by U Chicago Medicine.
WVON is celebrating Black Music Month with the Chicago Catalog, celebrating the legendary artist who gave the city its soundtrack. Brought to you by AARP. From the soul-stirring harmonies of The Impressions and Jerry Butler to the timeless brilliance of Donny Hathaway, Minnie Riperton, and Sam Cooke, Chicago sound has always been bigger than the stage. We're honoring the funk and fire of Earth, Wind, and Fire, the unmatched voice of Shaka Khan, the poetry and power of Curtis Mayfield, and the global movement born from Chicago house music. The Chicago Catalog is more than a music series. It's a love letter to the artists, innovators, and culture shapers who turned Chicago into one of the greatest music cities in the world. The Chicago Catalog is an exclusive feature of WVON and brought to you by AARP, a proud supporter of Black Music Month.
And the match is about to begin. Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight. What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field. It's a dog, but they could do with extra players. She's going for the ball. Our front paws, hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the Black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Celebrate the freedom to be. Happy Pride Month. We are WVON.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com. Thousands of homeowners have trusted Blindster.com for their blinds that are easy to order, affordable, and guaranteed to fit. You measure at home, install yourself, and enjoy blinds made exactly for your windows. Blindster.com.
From the Xfinity Studios at WVON, it's Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray on Chicago's Essential Storyteller, 1690 WVON.
The beauty in your eyes reflect the summer sky. Then suddenly it's gone. see our love lives filled with hours.
All right. Make sure you watch Rufus Williams' exclusive interview with Governor J.B. Pritzker as they tackle the issues everyone is talking about, from violence and education to affordability, voting rights, President Trump, and the 2026 election. If you missed it, catch the full conversation now on the WVON YouTube channel at youtube.com/@WVON1690 or on Vaughn TV. Vaughn TV is available on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, the WVON app, or at Vaughn.tv. Also, you can just go to YouTube and search for WVON and you'll find it, trust. All right, guys, you're listening to the afternoon show with Atiwa Buchanan and LaDonna Ray. Of course, we're on WVON 1690. We're talking 63 years and counting. I love this time of the month where we do our once a month Caregiver Chronicles. Those of you that know that I've spoken about being a caregiver myself. And as I've cared for my father for the past 5 years, it has been quite interesting. I decided to bring it to the forefront of this afternoon show because of the fact that it's not all fun and games. There are some challenges. There are some honest challenges. And I wanted to have a platform where people could be honest about what it is that they go through being a caregiver. So watch this. When we think of caregivers, I'm talking about everybody listening possibly, you often picture someone helping an aging parent or checking in on a loved one after surgery, or maybe even a neighbor that you've grown close to that you have decided to assist. But caregiving is so much more than that. It's navigating doctor's appointments, managing medications, advocating with insurance companies, balancing work and family, and carrying an emotional weight that few people ever get to see. It's one of the most selfless roles a person can take on, and yet caregivers are often the ones who receive the least support. Today, we're sharing a story that reminds us of caregiving as a whole. A former nonprofit founder, and above all, a father. For years, Eric found himself caring for both his wife, who developed serious neurological illnesses, and his daughter, who requires lifelong care. As the demands of caregiving grew, he faced decisions that tested his strength, his faith, his marriage, his finances, and even his own mental health. Rather than allowing this experience to define him, Eric turned them into a mission of advocacy, education, and support of other families walking the similar path. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Eric Nanstill. Welcome to Caregiver Chronicles.
Hi, LaDonna. Thank you so much. It's nice to be here, and it's nice to see you again.
I appreciate that. Same here. Eric, you know, knowing your story, when I was introduced to you, you introduced me to your story, and I couldn't believe it. You hear about single fathers who care for their children, but to the magnitude of having an autistic daughter, that takes the cake. You weren't just caring for her, you eventually ended up caring for her mother as well. When did you first realize your family was facing challenges that would change your lives forever? And when did this start? Like, what led up to this moment?
Well, it started in January of 2000, when a week before, my daughter had been vaccinated with several vaccines, including the DTaP and the MMR, which is the measles, mumps, rubella shot. And within hours, she developed a 105-degree fever and held it for a full week. And it just burned her out. And after that, she was not the same child at all. And, it was several months later, was diagnosed with autism. But that wasn't the only tragedy of that time. That same month, as we later learned through medical testing, my daughter was infectious with the measles virus after she got her MMR shot. And she shed the virus, probably during a diaper change. Her mother was exposed to it. It got into her brain and spinal fluid.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, she must have had a compromised blood-brain barrier. She had a lot of mercury in her body from her dental amalgams. She had dental amalgams that bled into her gums. They called it an amalgam tattoo. And so she was pretty toxic with mercury throughout her body. And we're guessing, we can't prove it, but we're guessing that is what compromised her blood-brain barrier and exposed her brain to, a viral infection as it was. But within 3 weeks of that exposure, she had a horrible flare-up of lesions in her brain, and they diagnosed her with MS on the spot.
So now your daughter's been diagnosed with autism.
Yeah, severe low-functioning nonverbal autism. That's
that
right.
kind. And on top of that, having the measles, and now your wife was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
Yeah, I came home one morning, morning after work. I came in the front door, and I noticed my daughter was playing on the living room rug as normal. She was only about 16 months old, and she had knocked over a house plant, and the dirt was all over the floor. And my wife was laying on the couch, listless, just looking at TV, just with a blank expression. And I said, "Hey, what's going on? Are you okay?" She's like, "Oh, I'm fine, Just kind of out
not there.
Not there.
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, Nancy, why didn't you pick up the plant? Why didn't you sweep or vacuum? I mean, Miranda's sitting like playing in the dirt."
Mm-hmm.
So I was really concerned. Of course, I cleaned it up right away, but I called her brother and told him what was going on, and he got scared. And he's like, "Okay, you're definitely taking her to the hospital."
This is a scary moment, and I hate to interrupt, but we're going to go to a quick break, guys.
Sure.
We're going to go to traffic and weather, and when we come back, we're going to have more from Eric Nanstill, and I want to hear what your brother-in-law had to say. We'll be right back.
More from Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Summer is here, the season of sunshine, fireworks, and the freedom to enjoy what matters the most. And at United Fidelity Bank, they believe freedom starts with smart savings. Whether you're grilling with friends, riding bikes with the family, or watching fireworks light up the night, your money should be working just as hard as you do. That's why this summer, you can open up a 6-month certificate of deposit with a 4.15% annual percentage yield. It's a simple, steady way to grow your savings without giving up the freedom of summer fun. At United Fidelity Bank, they don't just focus on numbers, they focus on you, your goals, your questions, and the kind of personal service you won't find at a big box bank. Because at United Fidelity Bank, you get the experience you need and the service you deserve. Stop by their Chicago flagship branch at 1701 West 87th Street to open your 6-month 4.15% APY CD today, or anytime at UnitedFidelity.com. United Fidelity Bank, where your summer of smart savings begins.
Rates subject to change at any time. CDs renew automatically to the standard rate in effect at the time of renewal unless instructed otherwise. Member FDIC.
At ComEd, we create financial assistance programs with you in mind. It's one reason we created SAM, our smart assistance manager, to help families like yours take control of their energy bills. SAM can help you find financial assistance and payment options. Discover programs like budget billing, due date extensions, deferred payment arrangements, and more. You may be relieved to discover what you're eligible for. Learn more at ComEd.com/SAM. ComEd, powering lives.
Matt McGill.
My brother Carl West, that's my stuff. You can use it there. It's some cocoa butter.
What y'all doing with cocoa butter, man? What y'all doing in here? It's like puffy with baby oil, man. What are y'all doing with just cocoa butter laying around? And it's just wide open for anybody to stick their fingers in. Who's going to use this, man? I don't know whose hands been inside of here, man. Trader Joe's, they went coconut butter. They even abbreviated.
I know, right?
I don't want that.
Weekdays at noon on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is sponsored by Alarm Detection Systems. Alarm Detection Systems, video business security with expert installation and 24/7 monitoring. Protect what matters. Visit adsalarm.com.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Happy Tuesday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page. And here is your traffic update. Dan Ryan, downtown on 95th. There is a medical emergency on the right shoulder. Dan Ryan at 71st Street, 29 minutes. I-57, Ryan Tayeti. Stop and go traffic. 4-minute delay, 19 minutes. Bishop Ford, Ryan Tayeti, 94, slow go. 19 minutes. Stevenson, DuSable, Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State, stop and go traffic. 45 minutes. Eisenhower, Wolfville Post Office. Slow moving traffic 41 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare, stop and go traffic 39 minutes. And Eden's, Montrose Lake Cook, smooth sailing 16 minutes. Your weather for today, Chicago. Hot, humid, and a heat index of 100 to 108, a high of 97 and a low of 77. Tomorrow, hot, humid, again, heat index of 101 to 106, high of 98 and a low of 80. It's currently 94 degrees and cloudy. That's your traffic and weather update on WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Love, love, love. Why'd you take so long to come to me? Oh, baby. And love, love, your love. Tell me where you
That's right. Donny Hathaway is being spot on today. You always know his voice. You guys are listening to the afternoon show with Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray. And of course, it is time for Caregiver Chronicles. We have our very esteemed guest. I'm going to add author to his name, author Eric Nanstiel, and caregiver, almost caregiver. My goodness, I want to say of the year, but that would be me. I'm joking. We can joke like that. But I do like the fact that we started off painting a picture so that everyone listening can understand how this began. It was overnight, as it is for most caregivers. It just happens. Your daughter had knocked over the plant. The dirt was all over the floor. Your wife was seemingly not there mentally.
Right.
You called her brother.
Yeah, her brother Joe.
What did he say?
I don't remember the specifics of the conversation from 26 years ago, but he was very concerned based on the symptoms I told him, and he suggested I call her doctor right away, and we took her to Northwestern Hospital in Evanston, which was
one of the best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but her doctor was based there,
Mhm.
and I was working in Evanston, so that was kind of convenient. I was just 2 blocks away from the hospital from where I worked. So I was able to visit her every night after work for a whole month. She was there for a whole month.
Did she know you were there? Did she recognize you during that time?
She recognized me, but she did not remember that we had a daughter because the lesions in her brain were so numerous in every single lobe of her brain. It almost killed her. They used plasmapheresis to wash the lesions off of her brain, and it took a full month for her to recover from that first initial flare-up. And then for the next 7 years, she went from like a baseline of her recovery period, which was not what she used to be as a person,
Right.
and then just went downhill
from
slowly
there.
for 7 years and became more and more
Dependent?
dependent on help.
Yeah.
And then eventually I had to take the car away from her and things like that. She was crashing the car. She was getting lost in traffic with our daughter in the back seat.
Oh my.
And so then we started to hire caregivers to come into the house to help her while I'm at
Because you
work.
still have to work.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So now you have an autistic daughter, low functioning as you
Yeah.
shared, and now you have your wife who is declining. It was so much going on all at once. Fires to put out everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, and my wife developed a kind of dementia pretty early on, but it, you talk to her for 5 minutes, you'll think she's fine,
Yeah.
and then you talk to her for 10 minutes, and she's asking you the same question she
You're
did
back
5
to the
minutes
5.
ago.
Yeah.
Right, and nowadays it's so bad. I mean, it's kind of like Bruce Willis. She can talk, but she, if she calls you on the phone, it's probably an accident, and then she'll ask you why you called her.
Mhm.
And then she'll ask you who you are. I said, well, we were married.
Right.
we have a daughter together. Oh, okay. And then she wouldn't even ask about our daughter, and she hasn't seen her in 2 years.
Tell me about the caregiving that you were able to provide for both your daughter and your wife until you couldn't.
Right. For 7 years, I was taking care of both of them. My daughter was in diapers. She still is. She's 20, almost 28.
Mhm.
She's still in diapers, pull-ups. And so while I was cleaning her poop off her walls, like in the middle of the night, she would create these fecal frescoes all over her walls. I'd wake up at 3 a.m. I have to, 2 hours before I was supposed to get up for work anyway. And I'm washing the walls and giving my daughter a bath. And I can't tell you how many times I had to do that. And then my wife, God bless her, she would have accidents
Mhm.
that would get onto the carpet. So while she's running to the washroom to do her thing, I'm cleaning the carpet. There's a trail that went
Mhm.
behind her, and I'm cleaning that off the carpet. And it was just, that was my whole life for 7 years. I was the only one cleaning the house until they, her mother helped out by hiring a house cleaner for us.
How did you manage that mentally?
It was hard. It's denial,
Mhm.
this is fine. I can handle this, until death do us part.
Yeah.
Don't let
This
it
is
stress
my
me.
job. This is
Right.
what I
It's
signed up
just,
for.
it's just what a man does to take
Yeah.
care of his family. And, but there were so many times when, Nancy would go to the bus stop to get Miranda off the bus, and Nancy would fall and would have difficulty getting up with her MS. And then it's like a big production, like she starts yelling and Miranda's running down the street because there's nobody to wrangle her.
Mm.
And then some stranger has to come and get him. And here I am racing to get home on time.
Right.
And it was like that for 7 years. And it was just, it was very hard.
Did you have a breaking point?
Yeah, but it was after a choice I had made.
Mhm.
In 2007, I realized my daughter was, by then she was 9 years old,
Mhm.
and it was becoming very difficult to care for. She was strong enough to resist her mother physically and elope from the house. And lots of times she would, sometimes in the middle of the night.
Oh, geez.
And I'd be, putting my clothes on, running out into the night air, to
Looking for your dog.
right. Yeah. And, you hear about all these stories about autistics drowning themselves in local ponds and swimming pools. And that was always something,
Your fear.
looming over our heads, both of us.
Mhm.
But in 2007, other things started to happen. My wife's cognitive issues were so bad, it was affecting her behaviors and her personality. She was a completely different person than
Mhm.
she'd been, back in the 90s when we got married.
Yeah.
And I was having nervous breakdowns, thinking they were heart attacks. And
Mhm.
I'd go to the hospital and they put me through the stress test on the treadmill and the chest rays and chest x-rays and
I know what
all
you
these things.
meant.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't talk right. And you're fine, go home. It was anxiety.
Yeah, but how are you fine? They know your situation and they just send you home.
They give you a bottle of pills. They say, here, take Klonopin. But the Klonopin destabilized me. It worked for 2 weeks. It managed my anxiety.
Mhm.
And then suddenly I started to have these bipolar
Episodes.
weird episodes. And
Yeah.
I'm not
Right.
bipolar. I have
Right.
no mental health issues right now.
Mhm.
And so that precipitated a suicide attempt. But before I had actually made the attempt, I was going to go in the garage and turn on the car and just breathe fumes and then say goodbye. But I called a friend of mine and he talked me down. And so that's why I'm still here. But that's how I decided I can only care for one of them. So I gave Nancy back to her family. That was the hardest thing I ever had to do.
Yeah.
And I divorced her. And by doing so, I protected my ability to care for Miranda because she had to go into a nursing home or at least assisted living. And,
your wife.
and as a
Yeah.
divorced woman, she'd be paid for
Yeah.
by Medicaid and Medicare.
Ah.
And so that's what I was looking at. And So I gave it back. I gave her back to her family, and then I became persona non grata. They just did not.
Yep.
They hated me after that. Of course, they didn't want the responsibility either.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was very difficult.
I tell you what, thank you for sharing that up to this point. We're going to go ahead and go to news, traffic, and weather, guys. And when we come back, we're going to talk more about your life as a caregiver, as a single father for your daughter, for Miranda. I want to hear more about Miranda.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we'll be right back.
Hope you're having a terrific Tuesday afternoon, Chicago. And keeping cool, I'm Logan Page, and here's what's happening in your local and national news. Temps are jumping into the 90s, with heat index values reaching the triple digits. WVON's Caleb Patton has more on today's extreme heat, our favorite intern.
Chicago leaders are urging residents to take precautions as extreme heat continues across the city. I hit the streets to find out firsthand how people are coping.
So the National Weather Service says that it's going to be like 94 degrees today, and with the heat index, it'll probably feel like 105. How is that making you feel, and how are you preparing to stay cool?
Oh, baby, I'm hot. Neck sweating, legs sweating, thighs, everything sweating. Oh my God. But I'm gonna stay hydrated. I got my water here. So I'm gonna stay cool.
Does the heat concern you, like health-wise, like heat stroke or headaches or anything like that?
No, I think it's good. I'm, just watching my figure, losing a little pounds with all this sweat I'm doing over here. So, but yeah, it is kind of hot. I think these older folks, they need to be careful.
Currently, there are 6 cooling centers across Chicago. For your nearest location, dial 311. Caleb Patton, Our News Now, 1690 WVON.
In other news, Northwest suburban Mount Prospect police are searching for a missing 13-year-old boy. Alexi Schroeder was last seen last night leaving his home. He suffers from a mild intellectual disability. Schroeder was wearing a gray t-shirt and gray shorts. He is 4'11" and weighs about 90 pounds. In other news, the owner of Frida Room in Chicago's Pilsen neighborhood is asking for the public's help after a burglary attempt Friday morning. Surveillance video shows a suspect breaking the front door window with a large rock before fleeing on a bicycle after encountering an employee inside. No items were stolen during the incident, but the owner is urging neighbors to review security footage to help identify the suspect. And Authentic Brands Group has signed an agreement to acquire the Care Bears intellectual property, expanding its presence in family entertainment. The deal marks the company's first character-based franchise, adding to a portfolio that includes iconic names such as Elvis Presley, Muhammad Ali, and Marilyn Monroe. Authentic plans to grow the Care Bears brand through the new films, television projects, live experiences, and other entertainment initiatives for audiences around the world. I'm Logan Page, and that's what's happening in your news now on WVON 1690 AM.
Many serious eye diseases develop without early warning signs. That's why regular comprehensive eye exams are important. Even if your vision seems fine, early detection can help protect your sight for years to come. This healthy reminder is sponsored in part by Dr. Ansel T. Johnson and Vision Salon Eye Care Associates.
This is Rufus Williams. Stop scrolling for a minute. If you missed my exclusive interview with Governor J.B. Pritzker, you need to really watch it, because this wasn't just another politician making talking points. This was a conversation about the issues that are hitting our community every single day. I pressed him on the violence that's tearing through Chicago. Where are the illegal guns really coming from? Why hasn't it stopped? And what is the state prepared to do about it? We tackled education, the state budget, the cost of living, voting rights, and I looked Governor Pritzker in the eye and asked him to make his case directly to Black Illinoisans as he seeks another 4 years. Don't let social media tell you what he said. Don't let political operatives tell you how to think. Hear the answers for yourself, then decide. That's the WVON difference. We ask the hard questions, we don't duck the tough conversations, and we trust you to make up your own mind. Watch the full interview now on Vine TV or on our YouTube channel. Then tell me where you stand.
This new year, get started on your next success with University of Maryland Global Campus. Apply by February 11th and get your application fee waived. An accredited state university, UMGC offers online and hybrid classes, along with more than 135 degrees and certificates in fields like business, cybersecurity, healthcare, and more. Gain the skills you need to achieve your career goals. Get your application fee waived through February 11th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Tune in every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. for Speak On It with Dr. Kofi Malik. You've seen him on cable TV. Now hear his spirited conversation on The Talk of Chicago. The question at hand is raising voices of the Negro. That plain and simple. Tune in every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. for Speak On It with Dr. Kofi Malik on The Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by ComEd, powering lives. Here's a great savings idea. Did you know you've got the power to manage your energy? Yep, from usage alerts to energy saving programs and more. ComEd has all kinds of ideas to help you gain control over your energy saving costs. Find out more at ComEd.com/energy savings.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Good Tuesday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. Dan Ryan, downtown on 95th. Slow go, 31 minutes. I-57, Ryan Tie 2-minute delay. 17 minutes of stop-and-go traffic. Bishop Ford, Ryan Tie 94, slow go, 22 minutes. Stevenson, DuSable, Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State, stop-and-go traffic, 46 minutes. Eisenhower, Wolfville Post Office, stop-and-go traffic, 34 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare, there is an accident on the left shoulder. Kennedy at Belmont Avenue, 39 minutes. And Eden's, Montrose Lake Cook, smooth sailing, 16 minutes. Your weather for today, Chicago. It's hotter than yesterday, and it's hot. Humid and heat index of 103 to 108. High of 97 and a low of 77. Tomorrow, hot, humid, and heat index again, but 101 to 106. High of 98 and a low of 80. It's currently 94 degrees and cloudy. That's your traffic and weather update now. I'm Logan Page on the Talk Chicago, WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Though we've changed in our endeavor,
Welcome back. That's right. You're listening to the afternoon show with Atiba Buchanan, LaDonna Ray. Atiba stepped out during this segment. You know why? Because Eric and I, we have had this conversation time and time again. We're friends. And I brought Eric on because this is the most unusual situation that I've ever encountered. Because not only are you caregiving for your daughter, you did it for your wife at the same time. Then your wife, you had to make that hard decision of putting her in the hands of her family.
Right.
And now your daughter, what was Miranda like before she was diagnosed? What was she like?
She was precociously intelligent. She's developing early speech, da da da, ba ba ba, bo bo bo, things like that. She would go through one of her children's books just like we would read to her, and she would pretend to read and move her finger along the words. And she was doing this before she regressed. And then just, over the course of the week where she had that fever that burned her out, she never did that again. She had no interest in books after that.
Do you have video of her doing that?
No, God, I wish I did, because I think it would make a dramatic comparison, show before and after.
Because I'm sure you're not alone.
No, I've in the course of my advocacy in doing the nonprofit work, I was going all around the country and meeting parents, and I've made some of my best friends I've ever had in my life through the autism community.
Yeah.
Autism parents are some of the toughest, most beautiful people.
Mm-hmm. You have to be.
Yeah.
Because you have to advocate for your loved one.
Well, the thing about having a child with autism is they tend to burn off all the rough edges that a person has on them and just leave purely what's left. The only thing that works, as what makes them a good parent, everything else burns away.
Yeah.
And you're just left with that golden nugget that makes the heart of every autism parent beat. And, and some of the people I admire most in this world are autism parents.
Once you understood that your daughter needed lifelong support, how did that affect you as the breadwinner of the house, as her father, as a man? What was impacted?
I just put the blinders on and went to work every day and came home and just resigned to the fact that I had to do everything. I had to do all the cooking, all the cleaning, you know, and then when I was home, I was doing most of the diaper changing because as the years went by before the divorce, you know, my wife was doing less and less to help out because of her physical limitations. But then once I was fully single, I held on to the house. There was nothing to divide during the divorce because the house was underwater at that time. During those early Obama years, our house was worthless. So I was able to keep it.
Yeah.
And now it's better now. Now I couldn't even afford to buy my own house now. It went up so much. But you know, it got so much harder because then I didn't have my ex-wife's help or her family's help with Miranda. And so I had like a state care worker, or not a care worker paid for by the state, you know, paid for by the Medicaid waiver.
Yeah. And even with that, let's get to the crux of this.
Yeah.
Could you even hold on to a job having to worry about your daughter?
It was hard.
You know what I mean? Like,
because sometimes a caregiver will call in sick and you have to be home. You're supposed to work till 5 and I'm an hour away.
yeah.
And then I find out at 2:30 and that Kathy can't come or
Right.
or whoever
To get her from the
yeah.
bus.
And so I'd have to race home to get her off the bus and that was stressful, but it happened too much and eventually lost my job.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next 16 years, you know, I took care of my daughter that way. And it was hard to keep a good paying job. It was impossible to advance my career as an art director.
Mm-hmm.
And so to this day, I still have difficulty getting management jobs
Yeah.
because I was spending more time managing my daughter's care than becoming an experienced manager of a department.
Yeah.
Which I'm perfectly capable of. It's just if they don't see it on paper, they don't want to hire you for that.
Yeah.
So I had difficulty getting my career, you know, as strong as it should be.
And consistent.
Yeah, and so I'd be let go from jobs because I had to get home on time. And even my dating life, I would go out on dates like Match.com and things like that,
Yeah.
just to try to have a normal life.
Mm-hmm.
And they find out you have a kid with autism and they're gone.
What about someone who has a child with autism?
Oh, I dated a few autism moms too. I mean, that seemed like the natural extension. But when you do that, you have to realize you're taking on double the amount of autism in your life. That's double the stress. You know, and autism makes marriages difficult. You know, autism did not break up my marriage, but it didn't help either. You know,
That's fair.
But my wife's illness made it impossible for me to care for two people.
Right.
And to this day, it still kills me that.
But it didn't.
You know, but I mean,
because
but
you're
if I
still
tell this
here.
to strangers, sometimes they'll still blame you, even though you try to explain the stress and what you're going through. And
Oh no.
and people do.
Yeah.
You know, there's like, oh, you're a scumbag or something. I'm not.
Well, we're not here to blame you. Guys, you can hit those phone lines 773-591-1690 if you have a question or words of encouragement for Eric. You know, at some point, I know that Miranda started getting older.
Yeah.
When did you, or how was it seeing that her needs started to change as she got older? I'm sure she started developing. And
Oh, she started developing.
Yeah.
She started to get her menstrual periods, and but because she wears pull-ups, that kind of took care of that for me. It was just a matter of, you know, whenever I'd change her, I'd just clean her up extra better down there, or put her in the bathtub.
Yeah.
You know, the bathtub's great, you know, for doing that. So, but it was just the fact that I was entering my 50s and Miranda was, you know, in her late 20s.
Physically.
Yeah. And I'm like, what if I have a heart attack and die and she's alone in a house with me? And that started to bother me because I was not in the best of health, you know, for quite a while. I'm better now, but
Yeah. You look great.
Thanks. So I just decided to start to make plans for her long-term care.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen? Like, if I drop dead, what happens to her? So
Right.
I decided I'm going to start looking into homes that might be appropriate for adults like her, and find placement. And it took 2 years of searching before something came up, because I had social workers that work through these agencies that help you with that.
Yeah.
And,
Wow.
Yeah.
You are a superhero. I tell you what, you made the decision to place Miranda in a group home
4 years ago.
4 years ago, not because you wanted less responsibility, but because you wanted to make sure that she would be cared for, as you stated.
Yeah.
That decision had to have been hard. And I want to get your response to that on the other side of this break.
All right.
All right. Guys, we're going to go to traffic and weather. Deborah, we see you holding, and we'll be right back.
More from Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This is Dr. Ansel Johnson, Clinical Director at Vision Salon Eye Care Associates. Your eyes are telling a story, but are you listening? What many people don't know, your eyes can show the very first signs of diabetes, hypertension, and glaucoma before you feel a single symptom. At Vision Salon, we use advanced imaging technologies that see every layer of the inside of the eye in great detail, catching damage years before it affects your vision, mapping your eye's blood vessels without needles. This is Oculomics. Using your eyes as a window into your whole body's health, it can be life-changing. If you or family members live with diabetes, hypertension, or glaucoma, or other chronic disease, don't wait. Call or text 708-385-0013. Again, 708-385-0013. Visit visionsalon.com today. Be well, see well, and be blessed.
How many hours did you waste in traffic last year? Take control of your commute on Metra. Spend your time relaxing and let us handle the driving. Plus, our 95% on-time rate means we get you there fast. Metra, drive less, do more.
This new year, get started on your next success with University of Maryland Global Campus. Apply by February 11th and get your application fee waived. An accredited state university, UMGC offers online and hybrid classes, along with more than 135 degrees and certificates in fields like business, cybersecurity, healthcare, and more. Gain the skills you need to achieve your career goals. Get your application fee waived through February 11th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
It's Cleopatra Draper.
But when you say certain things like that, it's just
Well,
not
I
right.
know it's your show.
I know. That's why you called me.
I'm reading the article right here.
Yeah, but you
Article
can read. But
Section 2.
yeah, but as you're reading the Constitution, they are moving the goalposts. Bianca, you too old for this.
Nobody's moving the goalposts.
Oh, nobody's moving the goalposts. Oh, yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. They definitely are. And you, that big black hope on the 50-yard line, said, "Let me play."
Middays at 9 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by Bank of America. Bank of America sponsors the FIFA World Cup 2026, dedicated to offering solutions to help businesses meet their goals locally and globally. More at bankamerica.com/game changers.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
No one else could come between this love.
Okay, we are back. You are listening to the afternoon show, and we're doing Caregiver Chronicles with our very esteemed guest, author Eric Nansdale. He is giving us just a walk in the life of being a caregiver to not just his wife, but then his daughter, or should I say it was his daughter first, and then his wife, now ex-wife. And as you took us through that, we got to the part where it is now time to make a decision to get Miranda care for the rest of her life in case of emergency.
Right.
What was that like?
Well, as I entered my 50s, I was 53 when Miranda moved into her new living situation. As I got into my 50s, and I realized I have difficulty keeping up with a very energetic, non-medicated adult with severe autism, and she'll always listen to me. She'll let me overpower like her movements, and she'll, like, if I need to redirect her to like do something or go somewhere, or for safety purposes, but she still is just a handful.
Mhm.
Now today, the group home, they've got her on meds that help control her energy, and she's much more evened out.
Mhm.
I mean, she's still very much her.
Yeah.
But yeah. And
She didn't
I
get
miss
lost
her.
in
I
that.
miss her on a day-to-day basis, but I can't do it anymore.
What was it like when she got into the group home? What was it like for you?
The first day, I had a lot of mixed emotions. I went to a friend's party and I got really drunk. I had 6 Cosmopolitans.
Oh,
Those are strong.
yeah, they are.
I don't drink anymore, not because I had to stop. It's because my body just stopped enjoying the effects of alcohol
Mhm.
altogether.
Mhm.
So even a mild buzz is uncomfortable for me the next day.
Yeah.
So I just don't do it anymore. But and I gave up sugar.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, and my health is so much better. I gave up soda, and I'm just so much healthier. The pounds are melting away. It's nice. But anyway, side plot. So yeah, so that first day, it was very difficult for me. I was a mess. And then for the next 6 months, I had what I would call or consider a type of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, where I was waking up in the middle of the night thinking Miranda needed me for a diaper change. For 6 months, I could not relax, and she's gone.
to the group home.
Yeah, to the
be
group
clear,
home, right?
yeah.
To the group home, and the silence in the house was unsettling.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like I've always dreamed of this moment where I'm
Mhm.
independent and
Mhm.
I can go back to work. I can start my career
Or
again.
go back to sleep.
I can have friends. I can date. I can have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Not an easy transition. Giving the care of your child to other people.
Yeah.
That's not easy to do, but it's life-saving. Once you get used to it, it's like, oh, thank God. It's not easy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Let's go ahead and take a caller. We have Deborah. Deborah's on the line. You're live on WVON. Do you have a question for Eric?
Simply just wish to thank him for being the great man that he is. I pray that young people will come to know his story and what love, the commitment, and even as a community, the caring, the love. I really called for something else, but I had to call back to say thank you, belated Father's Day, because you're an awesome father. And I'm sorry I kind of stepped away about the wife, but even there, thank you for being who you are.
Yes.
God bless you and all your endeavors. God bless you. Thank you so much, sir.
I love
Thank
it.
you,
Words of
Deborah.
encouragement.
That means a lot.
Yes, absolutely. Happy belated Father's Day. Because you're still a father, absolutely a father. What is Miranda's visits like? I know you go to see her all the time. What is it like to visit Miranda? What state of mind is she in? Is she having fun with her friends? Is she like, Dad, go be you?
She, she's a kind of person with her cognitive function. Wherever she's at, that's the new normal for her. And she adapts very quickly, thank God.
Yeah.
And so she's adapted to life at the group home, and she has 4 other roommates that live there, young women just like her. And I've become fond of them too. I come to visit to see Miranda, and I want to sit down and talk to her. And then I've got Aaliyah coming up to me and hanging on to me for dear life.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe she thinks I'm like similar to her dad or something.
Yeah.
Like, she's, and then just, and then there's little Morgan, this Asian woman in her early 30s, but very much a child in her mind. And she kind of like, she comes up to me, looks at me, and then she's just so fascinated, like, who is this person? And and then and then there's Samantha, and then she comes up to me, and anytime I give Miranda a hug, Samantha has to have a hug too. And
Miranda
so,
doesn't get jealous.
No, Miranda
Okay.
doesn't care. Miranda's like, okay, Dad, you had your hug, now go.
Go give it to someone else.
Right. Miranda's very much like into her thing, whatever she wants to do, and usually that's playing music on her iPad, and we share an a YouTube account.
Yeah.
And so I'm always seeing her YouTube history on my YouTube account, so I can see she's still into Teletubbies and Elmo and Sesame Street and Blue's Clues and these things, and I'm like, oh God, my baby.
Right.
And VeggieTales, she loves
Mhm.
VeggieTales. I'm like, I haven't watched a VeggieTales episode in probably 5 years.
Is there a way? I know you created Avatalker.
Yeah, it was an AAC, Augmentative Alternative Communication app for the iPad, and that was something I thought I could do to help children with autism and maybe like start a company and have a living.
Well, yeah.
But it didn't take off because we didn't have programming talent on board to update the app.
Yeah.
We partnered with a software company to build the app, and we promised that we could market the heck out of it and sell it. But sales were lackluster, and eventually our partners just divested of the project and just gave us the app.
But aside from that, it
Yeah.
was a great opportunity for autistic children, or adults, I should say, people.
But I mean, there's they have options.
communicate.
Yeah, they have
I love
options
that.
out there for communication.
See, my point is, you figured out a solution and created it. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like you weren't looking for one. You were like, you know what? I'm going to put this together myself.
Something I thought that would work better for her. So
Yeah.
it was
And she was using it because I met Miranda.
Yeah.
And she was using your avatar.
yeah. She knew how to use it. She preferred to make physical gestures, like she'll take you to the refrigerator and point
Instead
at
of
something she
pointing
wants.
to it on the avatar. So for those of you that don't know what avatar looked like, I can still see it in my mind. There were squares of gestures and things that the user would want at that time.
And if you touch the button, it speaks a word.
It speaks the word that they
Yeah.
touch. Yes. So that was ingenious, I should say. Eric, I want to give you the floor in the last couple of minutes that we have left. Anyone who has a misconception about being an autism parent or caregiver or anything of the like, what would you say to them right now in closing?
I just hope that you never have to see your child regress into autism, or some children seem to have it like from birth, but my daughter, she got it from environmental conditions. The vaccines we injected into her. There's
Yeah.
a direct effect, and we were able to basically prove it medically, but I didn't feel like filing a case with the court, the vaccine court in DC. But I just, there is help out there, but it is a lifelong commitment to their care. And to this day, I'm still my daughter's plenary guardian,
Mhm.
legal guardian.
That's right.
And so
And you're still in her life.
oh, absolutely.
She still has you as her dad.
I see her about twice a month.
Yeah.
I go up into Mundelein where her home is
Yeah.
and see her. And, but I'm overdue. I'm overdue right now. I have to go see her.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for being on with us. And I'm sure that we will have some updates. I need to get your book.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a different subject entirely, but I write about ufology. That's a topic I kind of got dragged into.
Yeah.
And I also write science fiction.
Yeah.
And so I write fiction and nonfiction.
All right.
But I just published a science fiction novel called.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, it was a
You
lot
had to
of
do
fun.
something with your time, right?
Yeah, I got all this time at home now, and
love it.
and I finally now have the patience and the quiet in the house
Yeah.
to write. So
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
I love it. I love it. All right. Now, I want to thank you so much for being on WVON with us. And guys, thank you for your calls. Thank you for your comments, and keep them coming. Eric, you're welcome to come back anytime. Guys, we're going to go to news, traffic, and weather. And when we come back, well, your 5 o'clock segment on the afternoon show right here.
Happy Tuesday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here are your news headlines. Pritzker issues disaster proclamation for storm-damaged Illinois counties. Police urge residents to avoid streets during active suburban investigation. LeBron James leaving Lakers. And director Carl Rentz sentenced for defrauding Netflix. National news from the Black Information Network is up next on Chicago's only urban talk radio station, 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.
BIN News Now.
An extreme heat warning is in effect until Wednesday at 10 p.m. And with those high temperatures comes the risk of heat-related illnesses.
With heat exhaustion, you're going to see dizziness, increased thirst, heavy sweating. As your body temperature is rising, it can quickly start to escalate to what we think of as heat stroke. And heat stroke is when your body temperature passes 104 degrees.
That's Dr. Jessica Zunga-Reed with Mercy One Children's Hospital. She recommends staying hydrated and avoiding being out in the heat as much as possible. A rodeo bull is getting a new name after complaints were filed with the Reno Rodeo about what some people viewed as a racist name. The bull's owner insists that was never the intent. And a shelter designed to help domestic violence survivors is opening August 1st in Jackson County, North Carolina. The shelter can accommodate dozens of people, including some families. I'm Misty Jordan with BIN News. Now, back to you, Doug.
All right. Thanks, and happy Tuesday. Today, I begin my series titled 250 Years On, a Racial Reckoning for America. As the nation nears 250 years all this week, we break down the country's racial legacy from a panel discussion I had with famed civil rights attorneys Areva Martin, Camila Moore, and reparationist Tara Perry, who is also the founder of BlackPact.org. Here's part 2 of my conversation that began last hour. Camila, you've shaped, one of the most detailed reparations frameworks in the country. What are the most concrete, actionable pieces of repair that could actually be implemented right now?
Cash payments as compensation is one form of reparations under international law. The other recommendations also were designed around the other forms of reparations under international law, notably restitution, rehabilitation, guarantees of non-repetition, and satisfaction. What those recommendations look like in California, but could obviously be extrapolated to other states or even nationally. We're talking about business grants, zero interest loans, public contracting preferences, housing grants, student loan debt relief, property reclamation through getting land back from unjust property takings via racially motivated eminent domain. The sky really truly is the limit when it comes to the concrete action items or recommendations or reparations for Black Americans under this lineage framework that the California Reparations Task Force uplifted in the report.
So Tara Perry of BlackPact.org, you're on the ground every day. What are some of the items that people are saying are missing from this report?
The report is very thorough. I was also part of the editing team for AB 3121, which actually seated the commission. A lot of people tend to forget one of the first promises made for reparations was land, right? When people talk about reparations, they often jump straight to programs, but Black people have Black American sense of chattel slavery, freedom, whatever term you prefer, have always, understood that land is power and land is safety and land is political independence and it's the foundation of wealth. And that's one of the first things that we have to definitely get back to. Medical repair. There's so much that was done in Black bodies and we were exploited for labor, experimentation, gynecological research and forced breeding. There's so much harm that has been done to us and those neglects still linger today. You can't brutalize the people for centuries and then act shocked when the harm shows up in our bodies. If policy has locked Black people out of access to wealth, access to housing, access to good health care, it has to open the doors back up to repair those people.
And next hour, more from my panel discussion on my series titled 250 Years On, a Racial Reckoning for America. Next hour, what approach to repair is more effective in a court of law, lineage, or status? Stay connected and subscribe and follow BIN News this hour wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Doug Davis for the Black Information Network.
Quality sleep supports brain function, emotional wellness, and physical recovery. Make rest part of your healthy routine, not an afterthought. And that's your healthy reminder.
This healthy reminder is sponsored in part by UChicago Medicine.
Hey, Alexa, Play WVON 1690 AM.
Getting WVON 1690 AM station from iHeartRadio.
Try it out for yourself. America is listening to WVON.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer. Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning. The cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the Black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com. Thousands of homeowners have trusted Blindster.com for their blinds that are easy to order, affordable, and guaranteed to fit. You measure at home, install yourself, and enjoy blinds made exactly for your windows. Blindster.com.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Happy Tuesday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. Dan Ryan, downtown 95th. Slow go, 27 minutes. I-57, Ryan Tying 80. Slow moving traffic, 15 minutes. Bishop Ford, Ryan Tying 80, 94. There is an accident on the right shoulder, Bishop Ford at Cottage Grove Avenue, 21 minutes. Stevenson, DuSable, Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State Stop and Go traffic, 33 minutes. Eisenhower, Wolfto Post Office. There is an accident on the right shoulder. Eisenhower Independence Boulevard, 31 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare. There is a barbecue, an vehicle on fire. Kennedy at Eden's Junction, 40 minutes. And Eden's Montrose Lake Cook, smooth sailing, 14 minutes. Your weather for today, Chicago. It's definitely hotter than yesterday and humid with a heat index of 103 to 108. High of 97 and a low of 77. Tomorrow, hot and humid again with a heat index of 101 to 106. High of 98 and a low of 80. It's currently 94 degrees and cloudy. That's your traffic and weather update now. I'm Logan Page on the Talk Chicago, WVON 1690 AM.
From the Xfinity Studios at WVON, it's Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray on Chicago's Essential Storyteller, 1690 WVON.
To the world as it spins around. Just don't let the spin get you down. Things are moving fast. Hold on tight and you will
Oh, I don't know if I should sing or if I should tell you all to go to the Millennium Park Summer Music Series. And it's returning to the J. Pritzker Pavilion every Monday and Thursday night through August 6th. And Metra is the easy way to get there. Forget circling for parking or sitting in downtown traffic. Just hop aboard Metra and enjoy the ride. Tickets are easy to purchase on the Ventra app. Fares are affordable and kids 11 and under ride free. This summer, let Metra move you to the music because the only thing that should be packed is the lawn at Millennium Park, not the expressway. Take Metra. Drive less, do more. And speaking of the expressway, Logan said there's a barbecue.
Okay.
I guess that means that there's a car on fire on the expressway. I had never heard that, but I'm going to use that from now on. What's up next, Atiba? We missed you.
Well, how about this?
What?
She's back.
Oh.
Serena.
Oh, okay.
Wimbledon started yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And she had her first match today in singles competition.
And how'd she do?
She lost in 3 sets.
But she's back, though.
She's back.
Yeah.
She lost the first set 6-3, won the second set, and then she lost the third set. But
she's back.
But she's back.
Yeah.
45 years old. She's lost her weight. And
but not her way.
Amen. And her and Venus are going to be playing in doubles.
Mm-hmm. I figured.
In Wimbledon. So let's see how that goes. But what are your thoughts about her after a 4-year hiatus? Matter of fact, it might have been 5 years.
I mean, was it a hiatus,
coming back.
though? She had a family, right? She had to
Hiatus. She wasn't playing.
Right. I'm just saying she had her priorities in order. She decided to focus on the family, focus on the Black family. Well, part of it. But anyway, she decided to make sure that, you know, she was there for her child or children. How many does she have?
I mean, she had the child before she retired. I just think, I think at the time, because, you know, she definitely wasn't at an apex when she retired.
But even though she had her child before that, that child still needs you at some point. You know, maybe that was her reasoning behind it.
Okay, so what are we saying? Are we saying she didn't play for 5 years?
Okay.
And now she's back.
Yeah.
What do you think of her return?
I think her return is excellent.
Okay.
Because that is what she loves to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes you can take time away from something and go back. That's why teachers go back as volunteers. I mean, that's what she loves to do.
I think Venus is 46. They are, even in tennis years, kind of ancient.
John McEnroe, how old was he when he retired?
I don't know.
Let me take a look.
I don't know. But I am saying this. I am excited to see her return. There's a lot to talk about because while she was gone, we did see the ascension of the little sweetheart Coco Gauff. She's won a major title or two in that time. We've seen other. Hey, Rash, can you close the door? Thank you. We've seen a few other standouts in ladies tennis that, you know, young standouts that have come up the ranks. Alicia Parks is one. Sloane Stephens is one. Naomi Osaka is another.
Mm-hmm.
And matter of fact, that's what kind of made her retire, because Naomi Osaka kept smacking her.
You know, back to John McEnroe, I just want to squeeze this in real quick. He didn't officially announce his formal retirement. He stopped playing full-time in his singles, or in full-time singles, that's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
In 1994, he was 35. He stepped away from the main tour entirely in 1992 and later returned. He did the same thing for a brief doubles run. Now, you think her return is brief, or is she here to stay? Winning his final doubles title at SAP Open in 2006 at the age of 47.
Win or lose, are you inspired by her return?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're the pioneer of tennis when it comes to Black women. And I don't think that should go away. They're still here. They retired at an early age because, you know, when we look at retirement, we look at, you know, decrepit or a much older. But for them to return strong, whether they win or lose, they're still
winners.
They're still winners in my book. Make another movie.
Yeah. Again, I try and look at legacy and what was left behind, and has the baton been passed? And I think they did a good job of inspiring a lot more Black women. I think that matter of fact, this morning I watched Taylor Townsend play. If I'm not mistaken, she either has deep Chicago ties or is from Chicago. And she lost this morning, but she played well. She lost in 3 sets also. Women, if a woman wins in straight sets, that's 2. If a man wins in straight sets, that's 3 sets. So a lot of men's sets go to 5, and a lot of ladies' sets go to 3. But that being said, the only thing that I don't lay this at the feet of the Williams sisters. The only thing that I wish I saw more of is young Black men. I'm waiting to see who is going to be the next young Black male Venus Williams, the young Black male Serena Williams, because we are physically talented as anybody. And I'm hoping that we either develop the mindset to want to play the game, or that there's more access for young Black boys to get into the game. Because it's a beautiful game. It pays really, really well. And I just think it's that time.
You think Black boys are being presented with tennis as an option outside of basketball and football?
Not as much, because a lot of high schools don't offer tennis.
Right.
Right. Especially in urban areas. So a parent would have to, go to tennis lessons. They'd have to go out of their way.
Yeah, because Excess, I think it's called Excess Tennis
On
Facility.
55th or
Yeah,
something?
52nd and State.
Yeah.
They're Black owned and by, I think, 2 brothers. I have to look that up. But yeah.
But that's my point is there's
But the outreach.
That's a private institution. Most black athletes get introduced to whatever they're going to do, be it track, football, whatever, in high school.
Yeah.
Because it's, their high school offers it. So I would love to see high schools begin to offer more tennis, more golf. I just want to see us begin to branch out into these other areas, because again, we are, Black people are as talented as anyone in anything. But I am wholly inspired by Serena. She lost all that weight, so it don't hit the same as her catsuit days. But you think about how long. Let me give you an idea of how long ago this was. When she won her first U.S. Open, it was in 1999, and I can remember me and my fiance then, and our daughter Niani, in our first apartment, watching it on a 19-inch. This wasn't no flat screen. This was heavy. And I remember how excited we were to watch her win her first U.S. Open on that television. I don't even think we had furniture yet. And we crowded around the TV. And that was the first time we saw Serena win a major title.
I love it. We're going to go to break, guys. It's traffic and weather time. And when we come back, though, we're going to get those calls on the other side. 773-591-1690.
More from Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This is Rufus Williams. Stop scrolling for a minute. If you missed my exclusive interview with Governor J.B. Pritzker, you need to really watch it, because this wasn't just another politician making talking points. This was a conversation about the issues that are hitting our community every single day. I pressed him on the violence that's tearing through Chicago. Where are the illegal guns really coming from? Why hasn't it stopped? And what is the state prepared to do about it? We tackled education, the state budget, the cost of living, voting rights, and I looked Governor Pritzker in the eye and asked him to make his case directly to Black Illinoisans as he seeks another 4 years. Don't let social media tell you what he said. Don't let political operatives tell you how to think. Hear the answers for yourself, then decide. That's the WVON difference. We ask the hard questions, we don't duck the tough conversations, and we trust you to make up your own mind. Watch the full interview now on Vine TV or on our YouTube channel. Then tell me where you stand.
Some voices don't just sing, they make you feel something. Few artists did that better than Donny Hathaway. Raised in Chicago, Hathaway combined gospel, soul, jazz, and classical music into a sound that was both powerful and deeply personal. Whether performing A Song for You, The Ghetto, or his beloved duets with Roberta Flack, his voice carried a depth of emotion that continues to inspire artists today. A gifted singer, pianist, composer, and arranger, Donny Hathaway helped elevate soul music into an art form that was both intimate and timeless. From Chicago to the world, his music remains a masterclass in heart, honesty, and musical excellence. Donny Hathaway gave Chicago its soundtrack, and the world never stopped listening.
Brought to you by AARP, a proud supporter of Black Music Month.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because no two people sleep the same. Only the Sleep Number smart bed lets you each choose your individual firmness and comfort, your Sleep Number setting. The Climate 360 smart bed is so smart it actively cools or warms up to 13 degrees on either side for your ideal sleep temperature. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now save 40% on the Sleep Number Special Edition smart bed for a limited time. For JD Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
It's Rufus Williams. Every weekday morning from 7 to 9, I break down what's really going on, politics, power, and the people shaping our communities. Think of it like your morning newspaper, headlines, context, and what it actually means, so you can take it in, sit with it, and move smarter through your day. If you're part of the Root Crew, you already know. And if you're watching on Facebook Live, the comments are a whole other show. A family reunion happening in real time. Listen live or on the WVON app. Or join us on Facebook Live. It's the Rufus Williams Show, weekdays 7 to 9, right here on 1690 WVON.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com. Thousands of homeowners have trusted Blindster.com for their blinds that are easy to order, affordable, and guaranteed to fit. You measure at home, install yourself, and enjoy blinds made exactly for your windows. Blindster.com.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
It's obvious to you that at that time our love is through, even
You know, this one kind of sounds like Stevie Wonder a little bit.
They covered a lot of the same songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matter of fact, Matt, if you haven't played it, give us Superwoman by Donny Hathaway. That's a Stevie Wonder song.
Yeah.
That Donny covered.
Okay.
And,
but I just hear a little Stevie in that right now at this very moment. You're listening to the afternoon show with Atiba Buchanan, LaDonna Ray. WVON, 63 years and counting. Make sure if you're on Facebook Live to share the show. And those comments are coming through, guys. And we really appreciate you. We were talking about Venus and Serena returning, as well as the Exes, what did I call it? Exes tennis location, the brother that owns it, Kamal. But then Susan called in as soon as I said that. So I'm wondering if she has something to say about that facility.
I don't know. Let's find out. Hey, Susan, thanks for calling.
Girl, you know I am. We're on the same page twice. He does sound like Stevie. He's giving you Stevie, and I understand why you said, was that Superman? Atiba?
Superwoman.
To play Superwoman?
Yep.
Yeah, no, I don't fully remember the song, but I'm like, yeah, it does sound like that. Yeah, this is real good. I slept on Donny Hathaway, except for the Christmas song. But yeah, it's been good all week. Yeah, I was gonna say y'all need to interview him. Now, you know, he's in the heart of the hood where I used to live and where you used to go to grammar school. That would be the perfect place for him to canvas, to get young Black boys to come in and learn tennis, you know, if he were so, you know,
Fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because Sloan and the other girl who she's from Chicago, but her schooling and her tennis took her away because she's from Inglewood.
Taylor Townsend.
Yeah.
Yep.
She was the one that had that interaction with that white girl that tried to say she was unprofessional. And then she said, you know what, I let my work do the talking.
She was so good at that.
Yeah. She's straight Chicago, South Side, Inglewood. So Yeah, no, bring him on. And he Whitney Young. Hey, yeah. So
All right,
he
so
would
I just
be
want to say
perfect.
Kamal Murray, I think that's his name. If you hear this interview or this should I say segment, please give us a call so we can get you on, or somebody reach out to him and let him know that LaDonna Ray and Atiwa are looking for him so that we can have a
Yeah.
conversation about tennis.
Hey, Susan, let
Because
me
he
ask you
has
a
a lot
question.
he has a lot of opportunity in that area for young black boys
Yeah.
that can get into something, and it's right there.
Indeed. Quick question for you. Did you find the return of Serena inspiring, or do you think she should sit down somewhere?
Absolutely inspiring. That woman is the GOAT, and I don't care if she lost the first one, because when she wins, coming behind it is going to be even greater. She looks good. You know what? Everything with aging is going longer, meaning we're living longer, we're looking younger. Let her do her thing.
Yeah.
She retired or whatever she did, hiatus, retire, whatever. We thought for the family, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, because she was out and about. She was very visible the whole entire time. You know, her business, her looks, her weight loss. She has multiple businesses that she's done. So she has not been on the sidelines at all whatsoever. She probably just needed to finish getting her game face on. So good for her. Do her thing.
Amen to that. Thank you for calling, Miss Susan. Yeah, I got nothing but support for her. I am so excited. I was a huge fan all of those years. As a matter of fact, I can say this. You know, I watch tennis now, and I learned the rules from watching her matches.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I know what a double fault is. I know. Excuse me. I know what it.
That was pretty pronounced. You good?
Came out of nowhere. I know
What is a double fault?
So you get, when you serve,
Mhm.
the ball has to land in a certain box. And
Okay.
if it lands outside of that box
Mhm.
and or touches the net, that's called a fault. But that's okay. You get another shot
When you serve.
when you serve.
Okay.
If you serve again, right back to back, and it still lands outside of that area, that particular box, then it is called a double fault and you lose a point.
Mm.
Then there's unforced errors. There's
Mhm.
aces, there's winners. But again, I learned all that just by watching her, and I let me be fair, her and Venus, because I was a big fan of them both.
Yeah. Nice. Well, I tell you what, I got my tennis rackets ready. Okay. But after cutting that grass yesterday and feeling like maybe I shouldn't be doing that,
Right?
I'm wondering how, because my hand and eye coordination is on point, but I don't know if it's still that way because my vision has changed.
Only
but
one way to find
But I
out.
still know where my hand is. So yeah, you're right. Only way to find out is get out there on the court. So I don't know if somebody wants to meet up at the court, hit me up, LaDonna at WVON.com. I want to see who's ready to play some tennis, some real tennis.
How about some pickleball?
Isn't that for old people?
Yeah, that's why I said it.
Okay, I see you. That was good. Yeah.
I don't want to see you get hurt again.
Yeah,
you
sure.
know,
Yeah.
and that's a way for you to ease back into it.
Mhm.
Pickleball, better yet, ping pong.
Why don't you just go play bingo?
You just gonna go straight for the bingo.
Yes, straight
How
for the
about you
bingo.
play shuffleboard?
How about you go play backgammon?
I'm done with you.
I can't.
I'll let you win with
We're
that
gonna
one.
we're gonna go to news, traffic, and weather, guys. Logan, give us some good news, and we'll be right back.
I've got some good news for you, LaDonna. It's happening in your local and national news. Pritzker issues disaster proclamation for storm-damaged Illinois counties. For 11 Illinois counties, including Cook County, following severe storms, tornadoes, flooding, and damaging winds this spring and early summer. The proclamation allows additional state resources and personnel to assist response and recovery efforts in affected communities. State officials say Illinois has already recorded a record of 173 tornadoes this year, contributing to widespread damage across the state. In other news, police are asking residents to avoid several streets in West suburban Addison as officers conduct an active investigation. Authorities have not released details about the nature of the investigation, but said road closures are in place while law enforcement works in the area. Residents are urged to avoid the affected streets and follow police instructions until the investigation is complete. In other news, LeBron James is leaving the Los Angeles Lakers after 8 seasons. Clutch Sports CEO Rich Paul tells ESPN James has informed the Lakers he plans to play elsewhere in the 2026-2027 season. Paul is James' agent. Lakers have also confirmed the announcement on social media with a thank you post. The now 41-year-old became the NBA's all-time leading scorer as a Laker and led the franchise to its 17th NBA championship in 2020. NBA free agency officially opens today. Multiple reports say the Golden State Warriors are the front runners to sign James, who will be entering a record-setting 24th season. And director Carl Rinch has been sentenced to 2.5 years in prison for defrauding Netflix out of $11 million. During Monday's sentencing in New York, he was also handed 3 years of supervised release in order to pay back Netflix as well as other penalties. Rinch was convicted on charges of wire fraud, money laundering, and illegal transactions last December. He's out on a $100,000 bond and is due to start serving out his sentence in September. I'm Logan Page, and that's what's happening in your news now on WVON 1690 AM.
This summer, experience live music under the stars at Ravinia, everybody. Gladys Knight, Brian McKnight are going to headline, and they'll be joined by Chance the Rapper and a special opening night gala performance featuring Lizzo with the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. See great performances all season long, from legendary voices to hometown favorites. Ravinia brings unforgettable sounds to the summer stage. Get your tickets now at ravinia.org.
Have you checked out WVON's digital streaming network, Vaughn TV? It's everywhere on Roku, Apple TV Plus, Amazon Fire, on the WVON app, and at VON.TV. Vaughn TV, it's cultural content on purpose.
Beauty is more than style, it's a story, and now you get to hear it straight from the source. Solo Beauty Supply presents the Hair Tour radio show, coming to WVON Saturdays at 2 p.m. From Chicago to the West Coast, top salon owners pull back the curtain on the business, the culture, and the grind behind the chair. From building brands to shaping communities, this is where beauty meets boss moves. Tune in, tap in, and take notes. The Hair Tour radio show, Saturdays at 2 p.m. only on WVON.
This report is brought to you by D&W Injury Lawyers. Rear-ended at a red light? That's wrong. Tripped, fell, and hurt your back? That's wrong. Whatever the case, D&W Chicago's Injury Law Group will fight to make it right. Get the compensation you deserve. Don't wait. Call the 8s. 312-888-8888.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Good Tuesday afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. Slow go, 27 minutes. Dan Ryan downtown on 95th, I-57, Ryan Tie 80, no delays, 15 minutes. Bishop Ford, Ryan Tie 80, 94. Please be cautious. There is an accident on the right shoulder, Bishop Ford at Cottage Grove Avenue. 24 minutes. Stevenson, DuSable, Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State. Slow go, 28 minutes. Eisenhower, Wolftown Post Office, 16-minute delay, 32 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare. Stop and go traffic, 34 minutes. And Edens, Montrose Lake Cook, smooth sailing, 17 minutes. Weather for today, Chicago. It's hot, it's humid, and there is a heat index of 103 to 108. I have 97 and a low of 77. Tomorrow, same thing, hot, humid, and heat index of 101 to 106. I have 98 and a low of 80. It's currently 94 degrees and cloudy. That's your traffic and weather update on WVON 1690 AM. I'm Logan Page.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
When the summer came, you were not around. Now the summer's gone and love cannot be found. Where were you when I needed you? Last winter, my love. When the winter came, you went further south. Parting from love's nest and leaving
Ooh,
me.
the sounds of Donny Hathaway. I tell you what, this Black Music Month, WVON is proud to present the Chicago Catalog, a celebration of the artist who gave Chicago its soundtrack, sponsored by AARP. Today's feature, as you can guess, Donny Hathaway. Raised in Chicago, Hathaway became one of soul music's most gifted singers, pianists, and songwriters, leaving behind timeless classics like A Song for You and unforgettable duets with Roberta Flack. Fun fact, did you know this, Atiba? Donny Hathaway received a full scholarship to Howard University to study music,
Yes.
but left before graduating after being discovered by Curtis Mayfield's Cordum. Is it Curtum or Cordum? Curtum Records, launching one of the most influential careers in soul music.
Yeah, I think that's where he and Roberta Flack met, was at Howard
Okay.
or in school.
Makes sense.
So let's do this. We have a great, phenomenal guest. And that was the song that, again, both he and
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder covered, called Superwoman. I didn't realize Donnie's was so much slower.
Right, because I can hear it, and I was like, okay, yeah. Stevie would have went a little bit faster in the tempo. Yeah.
All right. So we have a great guest. So honored to have her with us. You and I know her from back in the day.
Back in the day.
All right. Miss Lethea Smiles is the executive director of Saving Lives Community Services. It's a Chicago-based nonprofit dedicated to youth development, violence prevention, mental wellness, and community healing. She's also the visionary behind Movie Boot Camp, a creative summer program that uses filmmaking, storytelling, peace circles, and mentorship to help young people build confidence, find their voice, and make positive choices. Through her work, Lethea has created safe spaces where youth can turn their lived experiences into powerful stories, leadership skills, and hope for the future. This summer, she is leading Movie Camp 109 at Operation Future Frame. This is a free filmmaking and youth leadership experience for ages 10 to 16. Welcome, Miss Smiles,
welcome
to WVON.
Hey guys, how we doing?
Fantastic.
Well-tastic.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be a part of your show.
Indeed.
For sure.
So tell us whatever I didn't say about the boot camp.
Listen, we're trying to just provide a safe space over the summer for our youth in some of the most troubled communities and give them an outlet to pretty much learn who they are. We boost their self-esteem. We're building confidence, and we just want them to know that their voice matters. And so we use the film as a hook because our core business is mental health. And so we want to help them process trauma. We want them to be able to articulate their value. And we just, we treat it as a violence prevention initiative for the summertime.
I think about you saying mental health is the core of what you do. But there's so many summer programs. Why did you decide to teach movie production instead of like another activity?
Because that's my background. I come out of Columbia College. I worked in television for over 6.5 years. Then I stepped out on faith and started my own multimedia production company where I do films, videos, and events. And so when my mom fell ill, I had to come in and step into the nonprofit space and keep our legacy alive, or keep her legacy alive, right? Mm-hmm. So I would be remiss not to infuse who I am and the creative background that I have, and without infusing that into a mental health scenario.
What are some of the roles that children can expect to undertake?
So they do everything, Atiba. They do the writing, they conceptualize, they direct. It's for them by them for the most part, stealing that from FUBU. But for the most part, they do every single thing. Editor, I have all my industry friends come in and teach them a basic overview, and then they dive straight in. That's why it's called a boot camp, because it's only for 4 weeks, over the summer. So I can only give them a little bit, but we definitely guide them through the process. The trainers, we call them, we take the language from the military. So they have commanding officers and trainers who basically take them by the hand, pull them through, show them the ropes, and then help them get to a final product, which is not a complete feature film. It's a short. So by the end of the 4 weeks, they have a little baby short film about conflict resolution. That's the caveat to the film.
You know, Lethea, and I want to call you by the name we called you in high school so
No,
bad.
you better not.
Okay, I won't do it. But I've looked at your filmmaking and how excellent it is. That is the only word I can come up with. But the cinematography, the storytelling, the writing, the production value, all top tier. I know you're teaching these young people to simply take excellence to another level, because when coming out of Chicago, Lethea, we have a reputation for being a hidden film hub. But by showing them the excellence that you push in your own productions, how do you see the foreseeable future for the students that take on this boot camp with you?
Well, it's always career pathways is part of the background thought process for everything that I do. I taught over at the Illinois Media School, so I got a knack for teaching while I was there. I experienced the light bulb going off in the talented artists. That's what I call them instead of just student eyes. And I got something out of that. I felt good when I can connect that dot for them and the light bulb went off. And then they were able to pretty much take those creative juices and then turn it into something tangible that they can market for themselves. Mm-hmm. And so we always want to provide pathways to higher education for them. I want to show them that there's more people that look like us in that space, and that is something that they can consider. So one of the field trips that we'll be doing will be to South Suburban College. I understand that they have some programming that they are looking to pretty much bump up and increase. So I want to support that. I understand that there's power in partnerships. And so what better way to go to a school where I took summer classes at to get through Columbia. Okay, honey. Yeah. The tuition was something fierce at Columbia. And so I thank God that I had enough sense to know that history was history and math was math. And so I would take my histories and the sciences and the math classes at South Suburban College. And so I feel like I can give back to them, help them increase their programming, and give these kids another viewpoint of where they can go with their careers. So I think it's a win-win.
I love it. I love the fact that you are so intentional about passing the baton, about reaching backward and not forgetting where you are coming from and why that is important. Question about this younger generation. I would just love to hear about just how opened their eyes are to some of the concepts and positions that you are introducing them to. I am sure that many of these kids have never heard of any of these positions.
And that's true. But they're a little more savvier than we think. You have TikTok now, you have social media, and they're recording with their phones. There's examples out there where folks are taking full films and shooting it with their iPhones because it's such a great camera in there. So they have a little understanding for the most part. And somehow, some way, I always end up getting kids who are pretty much troubled in a sense, but they're very creative, right? And I can relate to that. So I try to show them that there's another way, and that they can pretty much process that creativity and transform it into something beautiful if they really put their minds to it.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Sometimes they're troubled, because I'm thinking of that's where some of the most creative stories come from. You know, when I go to the movie theater, there's so much lack of creativity. I'm looking like, are they running out of storylines? There's so, you know what I mean? But our stories are so amazing, especially to us. And to find that light that shines in these children is also amazing. I'm just so proud of you. That I don't say that often enough to people that we bring onto the show, but I can say that with you because I know from whence you came. And I know that your heart has always been in the right place. So I thank you for that. Thank you for this program.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. And again, I truly appreciate you guys bringing me on to shed a little light on it, because I don't push it the way that I should, and so now that I have capacity this summer to spend a little more time on it, my schedule isn't as hectic as it typically is every summer. So I intend to, elevate it as much as I can. So we're always raising funds to, push it to the next level, if you will. And so, I really want to see these kids be great. And excellence is the bloodline of it for sure. Because I know if we're excellent, there's nothing that can be denied.
Well, let's tell people how to register and when the deadline is, because there is one.
Yeah, so the deadline is Friday, July 6th. We have about 5
Friday,
slots
July 3rd.
left.
July 3rd, right?
July 3rd.
Yes, I don't want people to wait till the 6th.
Get me together. Yes, I'm so used to saying July 6th because it starts
on the 6th. Okay.
It starts on the 6th. Thank you, honey. I appreciate that. So it is Friday, July 3rd is the deadline. They can email us and we'll send them the registration link since we're on the radio. But there's definitely, they can find us on the social media platforms. But I would highly suggest those who have grandkids, nieces, nephews, cousins. And again, this is at no cost. This is no cost. That's been very important to me to provide this at no cost. And so all they need to do is get this registration link, fill out the form. I'll have one of our coordinators reach out to them and lock them in. We have 5 slots left. Friday's the deadline, and they can email us at info@savinglivesmental.org.
Got it. I'm putting it in the chat, guys. All right. Thank you so much, Lethea, and for bringing this to the kids so that we can enhance our community and change the narrative. You are awesome.
Thank you so much. That's how we're going to do it. We got to come together. Kumbaya. Okay?
I love it. I love it.
Right.
All right, guys.
Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome. All right, guys, we're going to go to traffic and weather. And when we come back, we're going to wrap the conversation for today on the afternoon show.
Buchanan and LaDonna Ray coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. Matt McGill.
My brother Carl West. That's my stuff. You can use it, man. It's some cocoa butter.
What y'all doing with cocoa butter, man? What y'all doing in here? It's like puffy with baby oil, man. What are y'all doing with just cocoa butter laying around? And it's just wide open for anybody to stick their fingers in. Who's going to use this, man? I don't know whose hands been inside of here, man. Trader Joe's, they went coconut butter. They even abbreviated.
I know, right?
I don't want that.
Weekdays at noon on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. You never know who's going to stop by WVON.
He was the man in the middle, the one and only Bill Cartwright.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Out of Stanford, playing for the Los Angeles Sparks. She's none other than Cameron Brink.
Thank you for having me.
So happy and honored to have with us Mr. Mark Aguirre, 2-time NBA champion. How are you?
I am doing well, thank you. Not bad at all.
We are the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com. Thousands of homeowners have trusted Blindster.com for their blinds that are easy to order, affordable, and guaranteed to fit. You measure at home, install yourself, and enjoy blinds made exactly for your windows. Blindster.com.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Good Tuesday afternoon, Chicago. Traffic is clearing up, and here is your update. Dan Ryan, downtown on 95th, stop and go traffic, 25 minutes. I-57, Ryan Tayeti, slow go, 17 minutes. Bishop Ford, Ryan Tayeti, 94, stop and go traffic, 23 minutes. Stevenson, DuSable, Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State, stop and go traffic, 28 minutes. Eisenhower, Wolfville Post Office, slow moving traffic, 26 minutes. Kennedy, downtown to O'Hare, stop and go traffic, 33 minutes. And Eden's, Montrose Lake Cook, smooth sailing, 15 minutes. Your weather for today, Chicago, hot, humid, and a heat index of 103 to 108. I'm 97 and a low of 77. Tomorrow, hot and humid again with a heat index of 101 to 106. I'm 98 and a low of 80. It's currently 94 degrees and cloudy. That's your traffic and weather update now. I'm Logan Page on the Talk Chicago, WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
That leads us to who knows where. Who knows where.
All right, that wasn't too long. And neither was the show. It seemed to go by so quickly. Goodness gracious. And speaking of the show, it's called The Afternoon Show with Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray on WVON 1690, 63 years and counting. Many people think that since we're not on 87th Street, that we're no longer around, but you can spread the word and tell them we are still around at WVON 1690. Let's talk about what we're going to do for tomorrow. We have the host roundtable happening tomorrow. That's at 4:00.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. It's always an interesting conversation. What we do is we recap the hottest stories of the month. So we're going to be looking at some of the hottest stories in June. And it's nice because, you know, we all have a different myriad of opinions, right? We're not necessarily lockstep on everything. And it's always fun. And I hope it's fun for the audience to hear us go back and forth on our different opinions.
Yeah. And, you know, this has been a very interesting year. If you think about it, there's been a lot of heavy news that has happened this year. Outside of politics, we're talking about icons that have left us and become ancestors. The election that took place, the OPC or Obama Center that opened up. So it's been a very busy year, but this month it's in itself has been quite busy. I think we said that last month, but I tell you what, I can't wait.
Well, June was Black Music Month. It was Pride Month.
It still is.
It was Father's Day.
Last day of the month.
For an hour or two.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, we had a lot of initiatives happening in June, and in July we do get a little bit of a breather. But also in July, coming up around the corner, is America's 250th.
Yeah, what does that mean to you? Not you, but like the people listening. Like, what does that mean? Since we got Juneteenth, did we put June? Because I remember we used to celebrate on the 4th.
Yeah.
But Juneteenth came along, and I feel like we made July 4th a stepchild.
Yeah, and I agree with you. That's happened in a lot of ways. When I was younger, July 4th just meant a bunch of fireworks.
Yeah, fireworks, food.
Oh my God. And
red, white, and blue.
That might have been before they made them illegal.
Okay. My dad used to buy this big, huge garbage bag. Talking about those contractor garbage bags full of fireworks. And now they're thousands of dollars, and people just blow them up.
So now we're going to have a discussion about the contributions of Black people in that 250 years. Joining us will be our very own family member, Mr. Carl West, and historian and educator, Ernest Krim III. He is the author of How Black History Saved My Life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Saved my life. So I could not think of a better guest. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
I love it. I'm looking forward to it. What day is that? That's Thursday.
That's Thursday.
Yeah.
So that will actually take the place of Relationship Thursday.
Well, it's not taking a place because we're talking about the relationship with America at its 250 years as it stands or as it has to do with Black people, the Black community.
I just want to let the audience
I feel
know.
weird saying Black people these days. It just doesn't sound right. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm having a moment.
I just wanted to let the audience know it won't be the typical Relationship Thursday, but it's going to be amazing because the relationship that we have with the country that we reside in, that we are citizens in, I think is just as important as any other relationship conversation.
I know that's right. Definitely. I am looking forward to next week because we're going to have our programming for the month pretty much solidified. It's a new month. It's a new perspective. And I don't know, you guys, when you listen to WVON, you hear, a little bit of journalism, a lot of journalism, a little bit of commentary, or it just depends on what show you're listening to. Because on Matt, you're going to hear a lot of Matt. You're going to hear a lot of us going back and forth, Atiba and I. But with that being said, we want to definitely bring in July hot and heavy. So what do you think we should do on Monday, Atiba?
Monday is, what day of the week is it?
What day of the week is Monday?
No. Is it the 4th?
It's the 6th.
It's the 6th. So the 4th is on Saturday.
It is.
Oh man, I was hoping to get a day off.
You will Saturday.
Yeah. So like you said, we do want to come in hot and heavy. I am certain that there's going to be plenty to talk about from this administration. July is a very quiet sports month. Very quiet.
What about football? Well, they call it soccer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we got WRLL for that.
Okay. Because I just spoke to the Haitian community today.
Yeah.
And they are watching football, as it said. Yes.
That's
and
just
soccer.
It's the biggest sport around the world.
Yeah.
Just not here. But I can admit, he
was here.
I have a hard time watching soccer. It's,
See, my son plays soccer, so I watch it. I like watching soccer, especially when he plays it.
I'm talking when he's not.
Well,
what if it's not him?
If it's not him, I'm not watching.
Exactly.
Okay.
I can't watch something for 3 hours, and at the end of the 3 hours, the score is 2-1. I just can't do it.
I mean, baseball is stretched too now.
Yeah, listen, baseball can get me for about 4 innings.
Yeah.
I'm good for about 4 innings because I do marvel at the pitching. And this is all the stuff that happens in July. Soccer, baseball, golf. Thank God for the WNBA.
Okay.
Thank God for that. Otherwise, man, it's really tough. Football preseason starts in August.
Yeah.
And then the regular season starts in September.
I know we're ending the show, but I do want to acknowledge, I hope your back feels better.
Thank you.
Because you have been pushing through since Monday.
Since last week.
Well, last week, right? I didn't know about it, but your back is really on fire right now.
Back spasms. I've never had this before.
Mm-hmm.
And just coming on the heels of everything else that I've been going through the past 20-ish days, it's a lot.
It's a test.
Yeah.
And don't think he's nodding off, guys. He's just trying to get through the pain.
Just trying to get through the pain.
Well, I tell you what, I'm here for you. Now, if you want me to walk on your back, and I hope I don't break it.
Say the Jeffersons.
Well, I'm just saying, my mother used to have me walk on her back.
I am not Sherman Hemsley.
Oh boy. All right. Well, you all about the same height. Let's go ahead and wrap. Guys, we'll see you tomorrow on WVON 1690, the afternoon show with the roundtable. Get ready. Oh, you know what? I could have been reading Rufus's email. He said what his show was about tomorrow. Quickly. Where is it? Here it is. No, that's not it. Where is it? Here it is. Wednesday's show. Okay, Rufus is going to be talking to Brian Walsh of Sophie, calls to discuss changes in student loans taking place on 7/1. Nuala O'Connor joins on video to discuss AI cyber threats. Bound and Woven taped interview for Freedom Around the Globe. And Ken Manning joins to update and discuss his franchisee lawsuit against McDonald's. That's on the Rufus Williams Show in the morning. Guys, we're out of here. It's time for news, traffic, and weather. Logan, take us home.
Almost halfway through the week, Chicago, I'm Logan Page, and here are your news headlines. Court ruling protects $3 billion in federal homelessness funding. Glenn Jones reflects on Donny Hathaway's legacy ahead of Chicago.